Wrong one. Unseen. That's the middle. I lost my count.
Whoop, whoop. Welcome back.
Up for the love of God.
How do you know for sure?
How do you really know?
What a train
now
wreck.
we're alive.
Welcome to the Outhouse podcast, everybody. Where we talk shit
I lost my
shit.
volume. I think you bumped my knob. I think you bumped my knob, Otto. Turn me all the way up.
You're the red one,
Yep.
Otto.
Yeah, how's that?
That one's me.
Everybody
The
in
first
here?
one.
Dial
I think
it in.
so.
All right. Oh, I'm this one. I got
All right.
you. Sweet. Now I know what we're doing.
All right.
I'm glad somebody does. I still don't know what the hell's going on. And we're at number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. 9. Number 9.
Did I hear a niner in there?
Number 9. Niner. That's a
I hear
niner.
a niner.
Number 9er.
We're gonna air it also with number 6. Have a 69er. So
Right.
that's what's coming up
That's-
next.
This is our guest. He's already chiming in. Otto Motev.
Hey, Nick, look at here. We got old Otto Motev right here on the show.
Hey, I like Nick. Nick's a good dude.
Hey, Nick is a good
Nick's a
dude
great
over
guy.
here. He's my cousin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to read that disclaimer before we jump in.
We're already getting carried away.
That's right.
Remember, folks, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Outhouse podcast or its affiliates, its guests, or even us. It's all jokes. Calm down. It's all entertainment.
It ain't me.
We're here to have fun.
I gotta watch you.
And our spellers,
Sponsors.
thank you. Brought to you shows tonight by the
Tonight's
letter
show is
F.
brought to you by.
And by the letter U, and by the Sparta Lounge, Gattuso's Music and More, which I was playing the guitar. We'll showcase that at halftime, show you a little Gretsch guitar. He gets to every week grab a guitar and play one, and he's using a Gretsch tonight. And then Dolores down there at Planet Art.
The Mighty Oracle.
So far, so good. That's our peoples. It's coming through for us.
That's right. And we're onward and upward. There's some nasty.
I know it feels like Owl's too loud in the ears, but on thingies seems never to be loud enough.
No. And I think that, the volume, you're getting good at that.
And we
because-
figured out the audio issues. It is the camera changer, folks. We're going to have to reroute some audio and see if we can keep it going and keep the shit lined up.
That's right. And that way we can keep the Sunday show going because there were some ugly rumors going around that we were no more, and that's just not true.
Can't have that. Yeah,
We're going to be.
We're no more till we get the problems worked out, is what it is.
That's right. We're getting things fixed.
We need some people, and we maybe have some
And
things.
we have some people lined up, and this guy right here is one of them.
say.
And I'm glad we got him in the hot chair, the hot seat.
The hot seat.
The hot seat. We got Otto Motev.
I think I grew up in the hot seat, so that works out.
Well, that's good. Whenever Tom told me we were having Otto Motev on, I was like, that's cool, man. We got a porn star coming in. So what's he done?
I got a tagline: "Keep driving." Automotive. Keep driving.
Do you want to shout out the cuss bus? And anytime the F-bomb gets dropped, we're going to be
I
donating
forgot
a
to grab
quarter in.
quarters too.
And that quarter goes to charity. It's going to go to Humble Creatures up on Cleveland Avenue.
And I will say, Mike Gately, we were starting to worry about his. We had him marked up, but today I told him he was gathering interest on his bill, and he paid up. Right
That's
there's
right.
his money. So
But,
this is going in. This is going on in.
The one-man drum show.
He was dropping them like he was a rich guy.
Well, I brought some quarters, but I don't even think I'm going to need them. I'm digging for them, but I think you just moved them over to the side.
I told him we was gonna get some guys over here, Nick's buddy, to come after him. He paid up real quick, like guys. He said, "Hey Nick, you want me to go take care of this guy for you?"
I was kind of surprised to find out that you're right from this area from where I'm from, and we've never bumped into each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind of crazy.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, because all of us East Canton people know each
look,
other.
check out our new view when there's nobody sitting there with all three of us.
That's pretty cool.
That's
I
pretty
like
cool.
that.
That's a new
Yeah.
one.
Awesome.
Well, again, onward.
We got
and
some more cameras
upward.
coming supposedly too.
That's right. There's a whole lot of interesting
Mark
new things coming.
Bixby is gonna hook me up with.
Hey,
So yeah,
So
we'll have a bunch of angles, and then we got some drums back there for somebody to sit in with Al now.
and that's what I was going to ask next. Are we having a drummer tonight?
I don't know. Jimmy said he might be over.
And how about Whit?
And then Whit said he's got band rehearsal, so it'd be like 9:30 by the time he gets there. So halftime
you know how
will
it
be
is.
gone. But
Once we get going,
we'll see.
yeah, we'll still be up.
We shall see.
right?
We shall see.
So how did you get involved in the music stuff, man? Because when Tom first started mentioning you, he said Craig Reed.
Yeah, well, Craig Reed was more music business than I'd ever encountered before.
How'd you
So
meet him?
I sold him a car. Somebody recommended my place that I owned to him, and so before we ever met in person, we hit it off talking on the phone. I just, he kind of has that, I don't know, stoner attitude. He is the stoned roadie, and so
Charming.
yeah, we just were talking on the phone and kind of hitting it off, and then later on, I think maybe the second conversation that we had, he mentioned the Lynyrd Skynyrd stuff, and I was like, wow, this guy's really cool. So yeah, then after that, one thing led to another, and we became buddies. I was on his internet racing team, the Stone Roadie racing team.
Oh,
So,
I remember
yeah.
when he was doing that for a while.
Yeah, he's got NASCAR simulators up there. He did until I broke it. I actually, yeah.
That's
I
my
broke
buddy
it.
Josh. That he worked a little while on a stagehand with him. His dad's company actually builds those simulators.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty wild. He had a pretty cool one set up there for a while.
Well, you know what makes Craig Reed's the coolest NASCAR simulators? Because when you're sitting at
It's
them,
got a Skynyrd belt buckle on it.
no, well, that helps. But when you're sitting there racing, you're looking at gold records on the wall,
Oh, yeah.
which is pretty badass. So,
That is pretty cool.
yeah.
Yep.
And then-
When
Who's
he
you
had-
got up there?
He's got a bunch of them. When he had them in his office, I don't know why, as many times I was up there before he ended up moving them out into the living room or whatever, I never took a picture in front of the big wall like that, I don't think.
I
I
think
might
there's
have one in my pictures stashed back, but I don't think I ever did.
There's one online of him holding up a guitar, and you can see, because he did custom guitars
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
while
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. I think he might do that again, actually. So.
We are jumping ahead a little bit on our question here, so let's just take him back in the beginning. And where did you first get into music? How young were you whenever like music kind of grabbed you?
Yeah, so when I was 5, I got a guitar, the old Sunburst Tiger, if you remember those. It was a plastic guitar, but it had real
Nice.
strings on it, and man, it would slice your fingers in half playing this thing. I mean, the action was as tall as you are, and
Guaranteed to build calluses.
yes, but I fiddled around with it for a while, and about 5th grade, I think I learned Smoke on the Water, and
That's always the first one,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Dumbass.
Don't get Alex doing that. He'll be doing it all night.
But it's
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I just realized that, oh, that's because, never mind. I was having a meltdown for a second because I was like, I was going to showcase his guitar later, and I just noticed that my microphone is sitting in Larry's cup holder, and I'm like, oh shit,
what I
and it
mean?
doesn't have the wireless on it. I'm like,
That's
oh,
all right.
but that's right, it has the other mic sitting there, so I'm like, whew.
I hope your
I
recall's
was getting
better
ready to
than
have a
mine.
panic attack there for a second. I was like, oh my God, where's the wireless? Where? Oh, it's
Well,
right there.
Hey,
Actually-
Jimmy. Hey, Nick.
Hey Nick, this guy's getting ready to have one. He's gonna
This
have a
guy's losing his
stroke
shit
over
over
here.
here.
He's been having strokes the last couple days.
I told you. You just gotta calm down.
Give this guy a
Take a
Xanax or
breath.
something over there.
Calm down
Give
and
him a
take a breath.
volume or 2 or 3 or 4 of them.
Do you remember where we were?
Yeah, absolutely.
My bad.
But you know what's funny is the best musician I knew growing up was a guy named Jeff Snoffer. And Jeff Snoffer passed away in a car accident, but he was friends with Chad Reed. So Craig's son, Chad Reed, is also
Wow. So you have that link.
yes. We go way back. He knew my brother pretty well, Chad and Snoffer. Well, I went off
How
and
many
did,
siblings do you have?
that I know of. I have my daddy was a rock star, so
Daddy was a rock
my
star.
daddy was a rock star. I have
A one in each
4
state.
half brothers and 2 half sisters that I know of.
Have you guys all met?
No, I've met none of the girls and 3 of my brothers. So yeah, and there could be more. So But yeah, but so Chad and that music scene kind of inspired me for a while. So I was around Snoffer, and he really upped my game. He was playing Orange Blossom Special on the fiddle when we were in second grade. I mean, he could wail it. I remember him coming in and doing talent shows, and everyone else was like busting their instruments and stuff. Like, I'm done, you know. Why'd you put him on first, kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It was like, I quit. I'm gonna go out for football now because Snoffer's the musician. And but yeah, so you know, I had some bands and things like that.
How many? Like, what was your first band? Do you remember?
Yeah, it had I think we were called Black Diamond. That's what it was. Yeah,
That's great. It's a
Black
Kiss song.
Diamond.
I feel
That's
like
a great Kiss
that's
song.
a recognizable name.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
a
we
great
thought.
name.
I
man.
got that name off a can of paint.
Black Diamond.
It was literally called Black Diamond, and I was like,
Nice.
"Ooh, I
That's
like
awesome.
that. That could be a band." So
That is
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. So
And you play guitar?
play guitar.
Did
yeah.
you do vocals?
Some, yeah.
Do you remember who else was in the band with you?
Let's see. Joe Pickett, he's still around. He was a good drummer. He reminded me of Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick, where he looked all business, but he was wailing. He could
Right.
wail and just look like, and you know, Bun would have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and but Joe was kind of like that. He was just the laid back drummer that could
Right.
freaking jam.
How old were you?
You know, we played out at like 14, 15, 16,
Wow.
so, and then, let's see, Corey Scott, now, he was a born frontman. I mean, he just came in and came out like that. He came in, was part of our band while the band was there. He was a wild dude from Michigan, and he was on parole and some stuff but he was badass. He had the voice, he had the look, and then he disappeared, and I've never seen him since.
Wow.
If you're out there, Corey, look me up, man. Automotive.
Facebook.
You got a future.
That's great.
And then a guy named Steve Howdy. His brother Dan was a great guitarist, and Steve was a talented guy. So yeah, that's what we rocked. We ran 2 guitars and a drum set and
is
vocals.
that when you caught the bug? The music bug, like
yeah.
for real?
Yeah. And then you know, it turned out in the meantime, my father and my brother were jamming as well. So, you know, I didn't find that out till later, but my brother's band, John Stefanik, he was in Funnel, and they wailed. They were
remember
they were
that.
big.
Yes,
So
Right,
if you
man.
guys remember
That's
Funnel back in the day.
That's a big
and,
band from back in our time, man.
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
know.
Karma's Thread. That was John's favorite song. I think we looked them up earlier on Apple. Is that what that is? Apple Music. Yeah, I saw them on Apple Music. So check them out on there. It still kicks butt if you like that hardcore, old grunge, heavy metal stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got music in the blood,
Yeah.
like this guy.
Yeah, it's in me veins.
Flash forward, and I meet Craig Reed.
There's so much metal in my veins.
I don't know how
that
far
if
forward
you
I
could
can talk.
Scrap my blood.
How far ahead is that now? Now, did the band just break up on its own?
Fortify myself to the
Yeah, we.
Like they always do?
You know, I don't know what words I'm allowed to say on here or not.
And
but,
listen, if you drop
Oh, I was
F-bombs,
gonna
you just
say.
got to
That's
drop a
it?
quarter
All
in there.
right.
That's
Yep,
it.
don't say those. Don't say that, or
No.
don't say why we had to get that.
what about a cat?
Oh, yeah, you can say that, I believe.
Wait, can they see this on the camera? Because I was noticing they got this clam and
clam
they
that
got
goes
this
with all the
cock.
Yeah, that's the.
Are you allowed to do that?
That clatter and clam is for the cocks.
Right.
Right,
Oh,
I told
Oh,
him.
my
I just
God.
felt like I was
Oh,
Listen,
man.
listen to
every
that.
show.
Oh, that sound.
That sounds like a rusty clam. That clam sounds rusty.
that clam needs a cigarette now.
That
Yeah.
clam wants that after dinner, man.
Uh-oh. Wait, what the heck? This clam's a slut.
Yeah, it is.
No.
It came from
It's all the testosterone on set.
Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
So after the band split up, what'd you do after that? Did you get another band right away?
No, you know what? I was I had to take care of myself at a young age, so I started trying to make money, and
That's right, like we all do.
yeah, I went off and I had a car lot for a while down here, and I learned some things, but I got an opportunity and fast-tracked to corporate America. So I was an analyst and a director and some other things within the Ford Motor Company family of businesses, and So through the 20s, when everybody else was doing that, I was off doing that kind of stuff.
Now, how did the whole car thing start for you? Because we talked about that. You showed me some of those really bitchin' cars, man. And I love the old cars. I love looking at them, you know. But I am not that guy. I'm not a gearhead. And you showed me some really cool shit.
Thanks.
So, like, how did you get into that? Where'd that come from?
Well, I found out later. It was just I was born with it in my blood because my dad was a car guy and a race car driver. But my Uncle Jim, my great Uncle Jim Stewart, he had a not the Jimmy Stewart, but
Right.
He had a collection of cars. And when I was a kid, I was 8 years old, and I drove a 3-speed stick shift Gremlin from one building to another down on 23rd Street off of Lakeside.
Hey, Nick, you hear that? He's driving one of those furry little creatures he had up by the ears.
Yeah, the old AMC Gremlin. And so he was like, wow, you know, he told me to move it, and I get in as a stick shift. And I was like, oh, all right. And I
Grind it till you find it.
I'm holding the bottom of the steering wheel, and I knew I could watch the trees, and I wasn't worried about seeing the road because I knew the road pretty well. It was a dead-end street, and we
Was
rode
it stick on the floor or on a column?
stick on the floor. It was a 3-speed on the floor, 6-cylinder.
I learned
believe.
my first was a 3-speed on a column.
That was actually a 304. That was a Gremlin X. It was like a hot rod Gremlin. You know,
Nice.
so.
Wow.
But yeah, I grew up cleaning cars, climbing in and out of cars. You know,
Me
he knew
too.
Dave Werschel, so I
I
was
wasn't cleaning them.
Yeah, I was in Werschel's climbing in cars.
I sold a car to him for $60.
Did you? Yeah. A lot of
did.
people sold cars
He
to old
came and
Dave.
picked it up.
Me and
towed
my
it
buddy
right out of there.
back in the day went to this car lot down the street from here, actually,
Yeah.
and fucking did a hit of acid. Bam! Did a hit of acid and got in this van that
The
was
animals love
unlocked
you.
and sat there and tripped inside this van till the sun came up.
Awesome.
Nice. That's
It
fun.
was a wild.
I like how you said the car lot that's down here because you know you got to protect the guilty
right.
or innocent. I don't know.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Whatever. Yeah.
I don't want to mention no names or nothing
No, we
like
know.
that. You know what I'm saying?
You made the jump into
But you know
corporate
what a
America.
farm is. You know where that car lot is, boy. It's right down the road.
So it had to do with the cars.
Yeah. I was I was a poor kid in a rich town. I would say we didn't have squat, and all my parents or fake parents, I'd call them, would say is, well, save your money. I used to hear it all the time, and then one day I'm sitting there going, what money? Like the
Right,
$5 I
right.
get from Grandma at Christmas is gonna take a long time.
That's
Right.
So I started hustling stuff. I would I had a paper route, and I would pick up tires from the Goodyear store on Schneider and Cleveland Avenue over there. And the owner liked me, and he'd tell me, "Yeah, go ahead, kid. You know, take what you want." Sometimes he'd bring me in. He just thought it was cool. Some kid was busting his butt trying to make a living.
That's right.
And then I would take them over and sell them. I would get singles until I had pairs and sets, and then I
Right.
would sell them to the old Wally at this Ohio gas
Nice.
station over there. And
Wow.
so
Hustling,
that
boy.
was that's how
Hustling.
I saved my money to get guitars and hot rods and stuff. So I still played sports and stuff. So I was kind of like the Kelly Leak rolling up on a dirt bike, smoking a cigarette, and going to football practice or whatever at the time, because a lot of times I had to get my own ride there. So
I love it, man. I was a go-getter too, man. I remember when I made my first $100 selling baseball cards when I was like 10. That was it. I was ripping out everybody's collections, man.
I was around a lot of people that went to jail and things like that, and I didn't want to go to jail, so I was
Right.
always looking for legal ways to make money.
That's right. Me
Yeah.
too. Comic
Yeah.
books. That was another big one that stuck with me. Still
Yeah.
to this day. Oh,
That'd be
yeah. I
cool,
love them.
comic books.
Oh, yeah. It's a sickness. Actually, I got one in the truck I will pass along to you just to pass the sickness along. It's a good. It's my favorite one this year.
Sweet.
I've
I'm
talked
down
about
with
it
the
a lot.
sickness.
It's the new Hawk number 6, man. Donnie Cates. And I heard he got sick. I hope that's not true. If it's true, get well soon, brother. But he revamped the whole Marvel universe, and this is like almost like a what if. What if the Hulk had a Hulk? And you get Titan, and it's awesome, dude. Oh, it's such a great story. I don't want to give any of it away. I'll just pass you the book. I
Cool,
gave it
appreciate
away.
it. These guys are cool, by the way. Been hanging out with them for the last couple of weeks. Got a
And this
sweet
guy's really
studio
cool
in there.
too,
He's cool,
because
dude.
he's a go-getter, and you're looking at someone who's going to be, I think, a core member of this thing as we go along. It's going
He's
to be
got some
interesting moving ahead.
plans.
Tom's
Yes.
busting butt in here. So what you guys don't see is like, I think he's got about 92 or 3 hats that he puts on.
I'd say
throughout
that, at
setting this
least.
stuff up and whatever. So
Between lights, sound, and
if there were credits, if you
Video,
guys,
audio.
right, if you rolled credits, it would be like your name over and over. It'd be like
right, it would totally.
Gaffer, Tom
Right.
Dalo, yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalo. Yep.
Yeah, Dalo the
Yeah,
Dago.
I've
Mr.
actually in
Dallo.
my old when I was doing my old radio show, and I'd have guests come in and have them do
DJ
the thing.
Dallo.
Everybody would always be like Dallo, and I'd make these messed up bumpers and shit. Dallo, actually making them have
It's
them
like
the
the-
ones
like the
with
gyro
messing my
commercials.
name up and shit.
Gyro. It's a hero.
That's
Gyro.
That's right.
You know, I had
Papa Gyro.
an English
Shout out
teacher
Stilianos. Thank
that
you for correcting
refused
me.
to call
It is a
me
Edo.
Dalo.
Really?
She was like, "Your name is spelled D-A-L. That's Dallo, and that's who you're going to be." I'm like, okay.
Did you start rapping for her?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm Dalo, come down in your hollow.
Yeah.
And nobody
She was
messed with
mean.
my name at all growing up.
Yeah,
She was
right.
mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Did they just call you Ski?
Oh, yeah, that was one of them.
Ski.
Yeah, but I was Eddie, so I got Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Munster, Eddie Haskell, all the
Well,
Eddies.
I'm going to tell you right now, I never dreamed that I would be on a podcast
Squidward.
with Lurch and Gomez Adams at the same time. I mean, we just need Wednesday in here. And,
yeah, then
yeah.
it's a party.
yeah.
I always
You know
love
what?
that.
Next time I'm going to bring Wednesday Adams. I got a perfect Wednesday
Oh, my
Addams.
God,
Nice.
do it.
You guys want to
Prove it.
see Wednesday
Yes,
Adams?
Yes, we
You can-
do.
What about the fans? You guys comment. Let me know who I,
I
should
see the
bring.
ant
You
farms coming to life now.
We
You
got
want a Wednesday Adams? We'll bring a Wednesday
Ant
Addams.
Farm is rising, but the chat is coming alive.
That's
Wheelchair
right.
Chuck Smith.
We need
Love the show. And
Dennis and Gary.
Chuck
Here we
Smith,
go.
he's a cool dude. He posts a lot of funny stuff too. Yeah.
And you know, I'm starting to notice that you are
Thanks,
a hustler,
Wheelchair
man.
Chuck.
You wear a lot of hats too.
Yeah. Well, I do what needs to be done. So
And
I think that says Meyer guy. What's up?
I think my
I'm
favorite.
blind, even with the glasses. So
I hear you. The favorite thing I ever did was hanging with Craig Reed and Chad Reed.
and now when did that happen? After the band and after corporate America, was that when you met Craig Reed?
Yeah, I had a car lot. I had a couple of them around, and
that's when you met.
Craig and I met, and then I started going over there, and then we figured out that I halfway knew Chad, and so Craig starts. Craig has a podcast. You guys know
Right.
that. He's
right, the Stone
The
Road.
Stone Roadie podcast.
Roadie.
right, and so I was around. I'm like, when you see a hand handing him something or whatever, I
That was
like,
your hand?
That was my hand. I was on a lot of the early episodes.
You know
and,
what's weird about that is there was a local DJ here that was one day talking about Skynyrd, and I messaged him because I was friendly. I was like, "Hey man, I got the inside scoop, blah blah blah. You should talk to him." Got him lined up, and I think that possibly the same DJ that he tried to get started with, and just
then,
ended up doing it himself.
Then Griff Martin came in.
Right.
Griff's really the one. Hey Griff, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Griff?
Griff's a good dude, man. Me and Griff, we're like,
The rocket scientist.
when you end up having a really good relationship with somebody after you scuffled first.
Yeah,
right.
That's how me and
yeah.
Griff
are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we had it out a little bit, and then
That
it turns
a-hole
out
really rubs me the wrong way.
we're brothers now. You know what I
Nice.
mean?
Right.
And Chad's my brother, and
Yeah.
It's like when you're kids and you have that fist fight. You trade a little bit of flesh and a little bit of blood, and you end up being best friends.
yeah, Griff's a tough dude. He's a cool guy, and he's a smart guy, and but yeah, he pushed Craig along, and Craig kind of liked it when I was in there because it made him feel like he was having a conversation when they were
Right.
first starting off. So
Because I didn't realize they're in separate locations, right?
yeah,
correct.
Griff's down in Florida, and Craig's in Uniontown,
Right.
basically. So yeah. So
So you had podcast experience.
yeah, yep. I was
Somewhere,
on there.
huh?
I was on there with Mike Estes and Paul Abraham. So, hey, Paul, your book's still sitting on my my mantle. It's a great table piece, but in all fairness, I don't think I've read anything else at all since I got that book either. So I'll read it, my brother. But yeah, those are cool guys too.
I'm the same way. I got Atlas Shrugged sitting next to my bedside table right now.
Now,
Yeah.
I went to school with Chad. That's how I, learned.
I'm surprised
And then-
you two haven't met.
Yeah, it's weird. And then we went on this tour, this 7-city tour, and we ended up down there in Jacksonville. And we spent like damn near the whole week over there at Chad's. Boy, I'm telling you what, you talk about party.
Yeah.
Woo, it was a party the whole. He was talking about, I forget what dude's name was, but he rode up there on a motorcycle, and he's like, this guy, man, he's like, everybody would be partying, and all of a sudden you'll look and dude's gone and shit. Dude was passed out on the floor, bro. We had him knocked out. We had bottles and bags, and it was a good time. Down at
Jacksonville
Mr.
is where that's really where all
Chad's
this
house.
really started. So
I don't know if
And
he's,
that's what I was going to ask
I
you.
don't know if he's
You-
still there, but he was like 3 blocks off the beach. It was awesome.
yeah,
You mentioned
He's
that
not
you
too
got a
far.
lot of the southern connections in you. Where did that whole
So-
thing start?
So there's a guy, Brandon Miller. He was trying to do some stuff for the Skynyrd Memorial, and you know, Craig and Gary Rossington were obviously the whole band, and Craig were friends. So Gary Rossington and Craig had talked on the phone, and he was going to sign a guitar for me at the memorial, the Skynyrd plane crash. It's definitely not a celebration, but an honoring of the crash or
Right.
whatever. So I bought this guitar from Brandon Miller. He had,
What year
because-
was that?
What year was the?
Do you
that
know
was
what-
1970. Is October 20th.
No, what the thing you're talking about now?
This
That you-
last
The
year.
memorial show.
Wow, it took them that long.
No, but this one was a particular one. So some guys put together, Dwayne Easley and some guys put together it's a great monument out there in Gillsburg, Mississippi. So
That's where it was at.
yeah, so I was gonna meet Gary out there, and he was gonna sign this 69 SG that I got from Brandon Miller, Slickson Revolver. What's up, Brandon? So he built some badass guitars.
Bring that Guns N' Roses tribute up here.
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, you guys
bro.
check them out. Yeah.
I love me some Guns N' Roses.
So, so in the meantime, Gary passed away, unfortunately, you know, and
Right.
so everybody was headed down to Jacksonville, and I actually wasn't going to go. I thought, you know, I didn't know Gary. I mean, he was going to sign my guitar. That's,
Right.
That, you know, that doesn't make me special,
Right.
That's Craig's buddy. That Craig,
Right.
Sure.
you know, so I wasn't going to go, and everybody left and went down there, and then I started thinking about it, and then I started worrying about Craig driving down there and stuff, you know. So
That's a
If
long
anybody
drive,
knows
right?
about
Yeah.
Craig's driving, yeah.
So-
I'm out over there.
I heard it from this guy.
Don't ride in with that guy driving.
Grab a hold of something and scream. You better hang on to your nipples with that guy.
Yeah, you got that old shit handle. You better grab both of them.
So I ended up down there, and the memorial service happened, and of course there were all kind of music stars that were there, and
Sure.
Right.
I like that picture with Craig. Somebody snapped a picture, and Bad Company singers right there behind him. That's a good
yeah,
one.
Paul Rogers was
Yeah,
hanging
Paul.
around, Kid Rock was hanging around, and Chad and Kid Rock actually go back a little bit too. They've
Yeah.
got some history, and so afterwards we kind of had our own party. Griff kind of took the lead on that, and actually called a radio station. I don't know the call letters down there, but somebody did a shout out on the radio stations that we were going to have our own kind of after party at a place called Whitey's Fish Camp.
Nice.
Whitey's Fish Camp is it's a really cool place. So if you're down near Jacksonville, it's not in Jacksonville, but it's close enough, and but they've got a couple of stages and whatever. So Zach Lean is another guy. He's with a band called Six Gun, and you can check out Zach Lean Guitar on
He's
TikTok.
a beast, too.
Zach Lane is a beast, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Buddy Crump from Fortune Child, Buddy Crump and Fortune Child, they've been they're touring around, I think, with Skinny Molly, and I don't know, you have to check with Brandon Campbell. I'm not sure who. I think they may even open with the Kurt Town band, and I'm not sure who, but Buddy Crump's a fantastic guitar player from that band, and so we get down to Whitey's, and it was a little kerfuffle at first, like we.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah,
that's good.
they weren't gonna let him play. 'cause it was-
Deja vu, man.
Yeah.
Deja vu. I don't know. All right, sorry.
We got a Whitey's
glad you
used
had
to
it.
in Massillon.
Wow.
I remember Whitey's. I was out there with Stone Age before. Yeah.
Kerfuffle. Wow.
Yeah, so
Home of
Stone
mid
Age.
spaghetti sauce.
we kind of all got together. I was talking to the guy that managed the sound, and Griff talked to the owner, and we all got together, and so they kind of opened up the floor. Well, the people that were there got to see something special, because when you had those guys down there playing guitar, and Tommy Rocks, he's from a band Nothing Fancy. They're one of the best Skynyrd bands, tribute bands out there. And,
I've heard of them.
Tristan Dunn, Dave Hockman, these guys, GT from GT Bass, Greg, he's with the Kurt Town band. So all these talented musicians just show up, and have a jam.
That's
and
awesome.
It was phenomenal.
I
It-
love those.
I seen clips from it. It looked like,
oh my
man.
gosh! I mean,
And not only was they getting down, but it looked like that was a damn good time you guys was having
it was
down
it was an absolute blast. But Whitey's is huge. It has a couple of stages, lots of room, inside, outside.
Get
there's
that gas
water.
band down there, boy.
Oh yeah, we'll get it together. We can get gas band down there. There's a lot of places that would like gas band. Lyric Theater down there. Shout out to people at the Lyric Theater. I was there with Six Gun. They they restored that whole facility, and I can't think of the name of the town that it's in Virginia, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's cool. When they
So-
take them old theaters and restore them instead of tearing them down.
But that Whitey's was a launch pad, I think, for a lot of people, and I happened to be a part of it thanks to
Nice.
Craig Reed and Chad Reed and Griff and.
Thanks, fellers.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And that just kind
It's
of
always
kicked off,
nice when you get something moving.
You got that right.
right? That just kicked off a whole chain of events. So I got pretty deep in, there's a girl, Savannah Napier. She's a bass player. She's with Six Gun now, and I met her through Craig. And Craig and I saw a lot of talent in her. Not everybody else could see a 16-year-old girl that could play the bass,
Right.
And but she is more than that. And for me, part of how I've been successful in things is not necessarily that I have talent, but I recognize other people's talent and
Exactly.
put it in the right place. And she was dripping with talent. I mean, it was everywhere. And so I pushed for her pretty hard to get a spot in a promotion that Rockin' for a Reason. It was Gene Odom really kind of started it off, and then Chad took over, and Chad and I and Craig participated. And we raised money for the survivors
Right on.
through the Stone Roadie shows.
That's awesome.
But I got Savannah a spot down there, and we kind of cheated a little bit. I had her practicing songs and told them that she didn't know necessarily the songs at all, but she had been practicing just a little bit, so she had a little bit of a heads up on it. And one of the bass players got sick that was going to play on the song Getaway and another song, and might not have went exactly like that. I don't know. There's a lot of partying going on at that time too, but
Nevertheless,
but anyhow, she got
up
on
there and whooped
stage.
some ass, huh?
Yeah, and then finally people could see what I saw, and so she ended up getting invited to play with the Six Gun band, and they're doing well. So they
Nice.
kind of had a little bit of a band change up too. They lost their drummer, and Steve. That's another thing. That's another band that I just went down and watched down in at Thunder Valley Campground down in Virginia. Torn Rhythms, I think. Torn Rhythms band with my buddy Steve Bevins. Now Steve was the drummer for Six Gun, and if you catch even on Automotive on my YouTube page, if you check out Six Gun playing Freebird on there, and I know you guys seen
Yes.
part of it.
That's awesome.
It literally sounds like the original Lynyrd Skynyrd belting out Freebird. They're a guitar short and no Billy playing keys.
It's killer.
It's-
It
yeah.
is.
Still awesome,
But Steve's the drummer. You don't necessarily see the drummer because
He's way back there.
the kids, as I call
From
them,
the camera, anyway.
they walk out on the stage. This stage was a runway stage for beauty
For them
pageants.
girls, boy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that place is great. That was at the Dickinson County
Love this
Fairground.
country.
Youth sells, baby.
Yeah,
Youth is
but,
truth.
But Steve's band that he's in now, so they're just getting it together. They've got some originals, and they're on YouTube too. Torn Rhythms. They've got a CD out or DVD
And
here.
you seem to have a real taste in music. So, like, what was the first band you fell in love with, man? When you go back and think about it, like, what was the first band that you were like listening to over and over?
Skynyrd.
Nice.
Lynyrd Skynyrd when I was a kid. That was Lynyrd Skynyrd, AC/DC,
Nice.
Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf. I had the old 8-track, Peter Frampton 8-track.
That's great. That's a
What-
good one
So-
too, man. Yeah.
What was the first backseat song?
Oh man, that's a good one. I don't know.
Well,
Damn.
I don't think anything was on the radio, but probably Bang Your Drum would be like, I think the song that was playing. So.
Highway to Hell.
Big balls.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? She's married,
I've
so
got
probably
big
so.
balls.
Hey Nick, you hear this guy over
I
here?
got them big balls, boy. They sound like kettle drums when I'm
You hear
pounding
this
that
guy
ass.
over here, Nick? He's flying off the handle. This Tom guy.
This shit sounds like kettle drums when I'm having at it. I tell you what, doom, doom, doom.
Who's on your playlist right now?
Which one? I got like 100 playlists, but man, it's gonna go back to Skynyrd. I have a lot of that kind of stuff. I like.
I got a lot of classics on mine, but man, I'm in Radiohead real heavy right now. I was driving him nuts with it. He's like, man, if it's not the Cure, it's Radiohead right now.
So
Both
I'll tell you what,
guys, man, I work for both of them.
And I love the Cure, and it drives him nuts because he didn't have a great experience working with them.
Them guys are dicks.
But I'll tell you, I didn't say it on the air when we were talking, but that setup you got me. He got me the set list that Robert Smith had, and it had handwritten notations from changes they made. He got me Smith's
T-shirt.
picks that were all over the area in front of where Smith was, and the other guitar player, who I don't even know what his name is because I just love Robert Smith.
Right.
And then he got me the tour shirt that you were wearing,
yeah,
right?
they wasn't a tour shirt; it's the crew shirt.
The crew shirt,
Yeah.
right, for that tour.
For that tour.
And then
the itinerary sheet off the wall, probably a
that's badass.
pass sheet.
yes, and you got me the drumsticks. You said you walked by and both of them were sitting on the snare, and you went.
hey, what's the statute of limitations on that?
And I was like, wow, I love you, brother. He goes, dude, here you go. Don't ever ask for anything else. And I was like, I had the intention of framing them, but then I was going through that, tail end of that divorce, man, and it, just like you. The auction that I helped him set up when we were bagging and tagging, getting everything ready, and individual chalets for the auction house, his collection was one of a kind. It'll never
I
be
regret
duplicated.
some of that shit,
and
man.
I know he does because he's talked about it. He laments it
The
every
Rush
time we
shit.
talk about it, right? You'll never ever get that
Oh,
shit
man.
back.
Oh wow.
And he had and
Everybody.
he does still
I
have
had
some really cool.
I got some stuff,
Right,
but
but
not
like-
the best shit's gone.
Right.
I
Yeah.
had sticks from almost every drummer out there. dude.
Every drummer,
man.
every drummer. You name them, he had them. He
I had
at
Neil.
least one.
I had 2 pairs of Neil Peart sticks because I hooked the drummer up.
'Cause he loves him.
Wheaton, what's his name? Something Wheaton. I gave him a big old fat bud, and he gave me some sticks. And then, ironically, that same
It's
day,
amazing what a great key
Craig
cannabis is.
Reed ended up helping him, the drum tech, set it all up. So he gave Craig a set, and I was like, Craig, I'll give you a big, because at the time I had a bunch of weed, and hooked Craig up. He was like, yeah,
The
here,
Stone
go ahead, what's the big
Roadie.
deal?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're Neil Peart sticks, Rush, Craig, they're Rush sticks, man, that's the big deal. But I kept a pair and then gave one stick to my son and one stick to the drummer in my band at the time. Paid them forward.
So look, I decided I would just look at my playlist, and you can tell by the names what they are. So
Okay.
my very first one, it's called Harley Skynyrd. So when I'm on my Harley, it's my Skynyrd songs when I'm cruising the Harley.
But the
Gotcha.
second one says Madonna.
Like a Virgin, absolutely.
Oh,
No,
I
I'm
love
just kidding.
Madonna. I
Don't
don't
mess
care.
with me.
I do love Madonna.
It says remixed by Tom Dalo, Ed's version. What's that? Madonna.
Yeah, there we go.
And then I got
Justify
Cake.
My
You
love.
guys
Yeah,
like
that's
Cake?
it. Justify my
Yeah,
love.
I
I couldn't
love
see
Cake,
the print.
man.
I like to see that
Oh,
on
Cake
your,
is on-
on your
that's
list
right.
there.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Cake
yeah.
is on.
Ed does have a version on our channel.
That's right,
Justify. It's his
Justify.
freaky version.
Thank you.
I like it.
Go check it out.
Absolutely.
It's an
check it
old
out.
version he
It's
did,
dirty.
but I remixed it.
So here's what we'll do. We'll get Wednesday
or
Adams to dance to
remastered. I
it.
said,
How
I'm
about
losing
that?
my microphone.
That'd be
son
awesome.
of a bitch.
All right, Wednesday, you're on.
That's a dirty version, because that was in that Truth or Dare movie, and I think it was NC-17 or whatever. And then that song came out.
We desperately need new
I don't know,
equipment.
man. Oh, I know, right? I know, man.
My
We're
shit's
getting there.
falling off the table, guys.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was a new.
H3.
I
You got it. You good?
Jesus.
You guys like Hank 3? Hank Williams
I don't know if I've
III.
even heard.
I'm friends with him on
I don't know if
Instagram,
I've-
and he seems like a really solid young man. Yeah, I like
Hank
his.
3.
Can't say
He's
anything. I
badass.
don't know him.
Then I
Anyway.
got Conway Twitty. I got Conway and such. So yeah.
That's cool.
Sublime. Everybody likes Sublime, I think.
You know,
Zachary
and
Van
they've grown
Dress.
on me over the years.
Says, hi, Otto, do us proud. Zachary Van Dris.
Oh. That's my dad.
Patting
That's
him
my
pops.
stepdad,
Yeah,
Zach.
it's funny. You got
Yeah.
your phone out with your playlist.
Van Halen.
Doing it.
I got one called Fat. So it's just
Which
like
Van
all
Halen
fat
song?
guitar.
Unchained.
Let's see. I
Let me
got
see.
Unchained.
Well, my playlist is, let me see here. Up church, up church, up church, up church,
His is all
up church,
up church,
country,
man.
up church, rap,
All
up
right.
church, rock, up church. No, I'm just
Hey, up church. I'm gonna have my people call your people.
Yeah.
So
we need
we'll
you
get
to come up here and spend the weekend.
put you up
I got
in-
room for your tour bus right here,
What's
bro.
the big hotel in Canton downtown?
Oh, what the hell is that called? It used to be the Hilton. I forget what it's
I'll
called
put you
now.
up there on automotive. Don't
He
worry
was
about
there
that, so,
already. He was put up there when he was here in the beginning of June. I thought he was going to be here for the Stark County Fair because I read the damn thing wrong. And here he was playing at the fairgrounds, and it was June, and I missed the whole thing, and I'm pissed.
Actually, I got an idea for promotion. So Matt Leaders from Daystar. So Daystar Power Sports, they're down in Malvern. They're going to be opening a new store in a year or so. And Jim Coman, buddy of mine, is affiliated, and maybe we can have him down there doing their grand opening. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that'd be beast.
So you guys beat on Matt Leaders from Daystar. Go in and buy a car from him and tell him, please have a show down there and bring somebody good. So.
All right,
he likes them Hellcats, so if you guys got them.
I got you beat on the playlist. Mine's Pussifer to George Harrison to A Perfect Circle to My Funny Valentine. And then I jump up to Alan Parsons Project and the Beatles and then The Cure and Radiohead. And that has been a loop.
Biggie.
And well, I had that 21 Racks playing because I really liked that Poe the Passion single, man, whenever I found it, because the bass line in it was just ridiculous in my truck,
It's
man.
a cool bass.
It is. It just shook the whole vehicle, man, and I love that. I like when it feels like it's coming out of my chest.
Right.
Got some Pink Floyd on there,
Rattles the old bow.
It is. It's nice. Makes me feel young again.
You guys like my beard trim? Because I told my buddy Dan Moore, he's got Cross Point Barbershop down in Minerva. I was like, I'm going to mention you, Dan.
Boom, there's another one.
Yeah. Boom. I'll tell you what, though, honestly, in downtown Minerva, there's some stuff going on there. My buddy
cool,
Dave,
finally.
he's got the music store, and he's got an artist, Aaron Himes, that he's been jamming
I thought
with.
you were going to say Aaron Mulligan for a minute, because I know Aaron does a lot of the art down there, and we talked about her on the show before.
From Alliance is the one that
And
came
then there's the Regal Theater down there. They're putting some shows on, and
That's awesome.
and a new place down there called Witchy Ways. So Witchy Ways hooked me up with some stuff. So yeah,
Nice.
I can see you guys having a podcast down there. They're right next to the, they're right downtown. So there's a lot.
There's a lot going on downtown.
It's more than there used to be. Let's put it that way.
Let's put it that way. They're waking up down there, man. Because I know the last time I went down there, I was like, I definitely got to come back down here and check this out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you can literally walk around and check out a few different things down there now. There's some pretty cool stuff going on.
Yep.
There's a lot going on now after the shutdown that we had for that 2 years.
Yeah, that was.
People are coming back to life
finally.
in a big way.
At least there was some good songwriting, I would think, during that time period.
Well, and people had the time, that's for sure. And people got very, they started thinking outside the box. And you started seeing a lot of people doing stuff from home in very unique ways.
Well, yeah, and figured out that you can sit at home and make more money than go to these clowns and work your butt off and barely make it.
Right. People started getting really, necessity is the mother of invention. It gets you off your ass when you need it.
I still say, though, you kids better learn some shit. You better get some trade school stuff learned, because they need people out there bad, man.
I've been
I've
been hearing that a lot.
I
You're
got
not the only
buddies.
one saying it.
They're shutting down shops because they can't find labor
Right.
force. And the new kids, the young kids that come in are so soft. You
That
see those memes,
Unintelligent.
kids our days were jumping each other on
Right, bikes.
bikes,
Well,
like Evel Knievel.
And I'm going to be devil's advocate. And I blame myself for part of it because we contribute with these damn phones. Everybody's so busy with their phones now that everything is very tech-driven now. And the idea of going out and actually building calluses is
I don't have to go
it's
out
a
to build
deterrent
calluses.
almost.
Shit, I do that here.
It's all on the phone now,
His right arm looks like
I know, Popeye.
he looks like the dude from Family Guy. When he was
Oh, God.
Quagmire.
Yeah.
He's got the Quagmire arm going. He's got the Quag arm.
Hey, Nick, look at that forearm. You know what he's been doing over there.
Not this guy. Not this guy.
He
Not
been
for
banging
over a
them-
year.
He been banging them kettle drums, huh?
It's funny because you were talking about me, having roots in the area.
Yes.
And you mentioned a little bit about the Shorb rooftops,
Oh,
so
yeah,
so
the
what it
last
was, we had a buddy down there. He had a big ass house with the third floor was just a straight party room. So this it was winter time. It was just coming into winter, and we started having some killer parties, inviting lots of people over there. And so It's a dark street. I don't even know if there was a street light on that part. There might have been, but it wasn't working. So you couldn't see.
They shot that shit out.
Right.
Right.
You couldn't see the house number, so we would just say.
care of that.
I just remember rolling up one day and looking at it and seeing all the other roofs had snow and ice and icicles and whatever, and ours was just dry. Like I'm like, oh man, that's from all the heat up there. So we would tell people just look for the party house. How can you know it's the party house? It's the one with no
That's
snow
awesome.
on the roof. Yeah. Yeah, that was right off the old parade route. You guys talked about that a little bit before, but
Yeah, that was a big deal around Canton, you
Oh,
know.
my gosh.
And
Well, it still is, but not
Right.
like it used to be.
my uncle lived over off of Clarendon, and I think over off of Clarendon, I think was one of his earlier houses when him and me reconnected. And I think I was like 14. And I'd never really gone to the parade since I was a little kid, you know, and he made it like this big deal about how you need to go, we're going. I think he was trying to build it up because I didn't want to go, you know.
yeah.
I just wanted to sleep in, and
Well,
we
back
ended
in
up
the
going.
day, it was a big deal.
And then
though.
it
I mean,
became
way
a thing.
more,
I went with
yeah.
him 2 or 3 years in a row, you
Oh,
know.
you're
It was
talking
actually
about the
kind of
parade.
great.
We're talking
The
about
actual parade, but then I
the
found
party
out
was way better than
that's
the
right
parade,
about
so,
the parties that were going on with all you guys that were coming of age because
Oh, my
I was just a
gosh.
kid still, you know.
So yeah, old automotive. I was with my buddy Steve.
Did we lose our feed?
I don't know what happened, though.
There we go.
We lost the camera, but we didn't lose us.
All right. Well, we're still alive.
We lost the main camera.
And we should have audio still if that happens.
Let me go. Let me check something out here real quick.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
right
see
back.
what that is. And you know what? Well, we're getting to that point almost where you can cross over to that camera with Al, since we're going to probably end up.
Is it like the song Intermission?
Yeah, and then he goes for Gattuso's is letting Tom bring certain axes in for this kid to play.
Now, do people realize that's him playing live?
Well, we usually shout him out at that point, but yeah, the people that have been tuned in regularly know he goes the whole time.
I was here. I'm telling you, it had been 5 hours. He played nonstop.
Yep.
And you guys, I told a couple of you guys about this, and this is him. You hear what he's playing. It's not like he's playing one note. I mean, he's wailing.
He's not playing other people's stuff. That's the one caveat. I said, Al, you know, we can't get into trouble with copyright and things like that. So you're going to want to fade into people's riffs and stuff, but don't. And he was like, okay, Dad.
He is amazing.
So it's like, yeah. And when we had the, I forget which season it was now, 1 or 2, the Flat Earth episode was 4 hours because we were pushing the ticket to see if we could just go that long. We wanted to see what was possible with our equipment. And Alex played all 4 hours. We took 2 breaks, I think, us and the guests, and he stayed there the whole time and played it out.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
So with the gas band, you know, I was.
And that's another one, right?
Yeah, I got to watch those guys. So you've got seasoned guys that are amazing. You know, Pat playing his guitar over
Oh, my
here.
God.
I was blown
And Larry,
away.
him and Larry.
And
I mean,
Larry, yeah, and I forget the bass player's name, but he like jumped right in. And even though I think he used to be the caddy on Happy Gilmore?
the beard, the
Chatty.
the bearded
Yeah, we
man.
got it. For some reason, the plug wasn't.
I probably
Keeping it
kicked
on.
it, man. Sorry.
Nah,
I
it's
got these
good.
big
No,
old
we're
shit
good.
kicking cowboy boots on.
I wore my boots
It's always a
tonight, too.
panic
Great
when you see the
minds
screen
think
go
alike.
black. It's like, and then you look over and wait a minute, we're still on.
Right. Well, I always see the bright orange warning, and I know
Warning,
we're just hanging
warning.
by a thread. So
Danger, Will Robinson.
we
We're
just
gonna one of these days upgrade our internet so that warning will be a green dot.
sweet
like
Lord,
when we first
right?
start.
Like whenever Gabe was on, Gabriel the Angel.
That was crazy. When Gabe was on, that thing was green the whole entire time.
And let's shout out Gabriel. He has a big show this weekend,
Yeah,
right? Saturday.
Yeah, I think so.
And you can find out all about that online.
Yeah.
Gabriel the Angel, he's going to be doing a
I
bunch
think
of
I've
things
shared
coming
the
up, it
post.
looks like. And so is Ray Cardagino.
So did Miss Mills.
That's right. Shout out to Z running
Z,
shit
she's
tonight.
doing the camera work.
Grazie.
Can't see her, but she's
Grazie,
over there.
grazie. Our voice of reason.
So back to the
Unvoiced
parade
reason.
route. Now, what do you remember the distance of it? Like where did it start and end?
It started at the where did it start? It ended up at the Hall of Fame, right? Or is that where it started?
I think it ends at the
I
Hall of Fame.
honestly
yeah, it
don't
ends at
know.
the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah, I
it
wouldn't-
start at the Hall of Fame?
I want to say that it ended like down around behind
Yeah.
the Civic Center.
No,
maybe.
no.
I don't
That's where
know.
they like.
But
I don't remember.
the actual
Because I was with the.
I thought like they started and come all the way up and then down Fulton and around all the way up to the damn.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
back in the
honestly
day.
don't. I don't know the route. I really don't.
Well,
I haven't been there for so many years. I ain't been to the parade in 20 years, dude.
Well, the
like
par-
I forget.
It's
the
funny.
parade route
Without the
party.
football
It brings
helmets
back
on the
a
road,
lot
I
of
don't
memories, you know, when you say the parade, because
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was such a real thing here. You did a big thing, I remember that one year with Doug, right?
Well, yeah, we did the one thing. But I think that was the fireworks, which maybe was on. I don't remember, but it was during all that. But we had him. He painted his face and got his Marshall stack and went out in the front yard, and everybody loved it, which gave us the idea to do the Sparta Fest. In the first
That's
year,
what I was talking
and then
about.
the first year we did the Sparta Fest, it was great because
Hey Nick, they're talking about the Sparta
we
again.
over here. We made a big old. I got this stage and whatever, and it was cool because we had this big party with 6 bands going, and everybody would walk by going to the fireworks, and they go like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's this party?" And we could sit here and watch fireworks, and we had a beer truck and food and all the shit. You know what I mean? And we did like 3 or 4 of those things, but the next year they moved the fireworks or whatever up to the damn fairgrounds or whatever, so it cut us down. It was like,
Right.
oh, you know what I mean? So then we did like a Halloween party once, and then a couple other ones, like a pig roast one.
I think, yeah, I remember that too, hearing about that. For some reason I didn't make it to
Because
any
I
of
bought
those.
that stage from Midwest Fireworks. I bought that. That had, when they had all them shows out
Yeah.
there, I
Yeah,
ended
that's
up buying that stage, and that's what we set up in the parking lot of the Sparta, man. It was badass.
You're a promoter from way back, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. I
Tommy
was doing the
Tuto.
thing, man.
Well, I just
DJ.
remember driving.
Never getting paid.
My buddy, I was 14 that summer, and my buddy had a cool Nova, and we had
Nice.
just put in a cassette tape of AC/DC, and "You Shook Me All Night Long" comes on, and we're kind of almost stopped in traffic, and it starts playing, and I look over, and there's these 2 ladies walking, and one's in like Daisy Dukes and a white tank top, and I'm looking at her, and she looks at me, and I go, "This song's about you," and she laughed, and we started
went,
talking, and
"Hey, baby."
yeah, then I got out, and I went with them, so it was like
Come to Butthead.
I was christened the
Thank
first
you,
time.
AC/DC.
Yeah, and you know what? We it was a fun night. So there was people just
Yeah. For me, it was Dirty Deeds, man. We got that cassette
yeah.
secondhand, and me and Dave Hackley, if you tune in, brother, we played it till the letters came off.
my grandma bought that, and then she brought it home, was gonna rap it for me, and read the songs. Was like, "Oh no, you're not, you're not."
Was it Big Balls?
Big Balls. Squealer.
Right.
Was that a song about Ned Beatty?
This is that Antichrist Devil's Children stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Dirty
Right.
Deeds done dirt cheap. I mean that in itself.
Done with sheep.
That's such a great song.
But,
we had lip syncing that in the talent show at school, me and Dave, and
I think it's funny that I liked Skynyrd and AC/DC because they crossed paths.
really?
Yes.
How?
They played together at some shows, and Craig, or at least one major show, and then there's rumored that Ronnie and some of the band members may have run off, and I probably heard the story, but when I'm around Craig, I'm like 94 doobies in, so it's hard to remember. It's hard to
Right.
remember, but
It's hard to remember your
but now
name.
there's a picture with Bon Scott wearing a Lynyrd Skynyrd belt buckle. It's a famous picture. He's
that's
singing,
cool.
and it's this belt buckle actually. I have one of those belt
That
buckles
is
that I got
cool.
from Craig,
Nice.
but
They just did
yeah.
a real good bio on Bon Scott on one of those internet
yeah.
channels.
And then his son Ben Scott, I got to meet through the podcast. He's down in Australia. I don't know if he's in bed right now or what. But what's up, Ben Scott?
What's up, mate?
He's going down there.
Going
tonight.
to the shrimp
So
on the
be
bobby.
him.
He's drinking a pint down there. But yeah, if he's up in the States, he'd be on the show for sure. So,
That'd be awesome, man.
yeah.
Now, my brother and them, their AC/DC tribute Thunderstruck, they had like the original guy that was before Bon Scott. He was running around, jumping in, doing a couple songs with all these AC/DC tribute bands, but they did it like a whole show with him, I think. And then their singer and his was going back and forth and stuff, different songs or whatever. It was pretty cool. I forget his damn name.
I don't know. I didn't know there was a singer before
Yeah,
Bon Scott.
There was
I didn't either.
yeah,
I thought it was just Bon Scott.
Want to hear something messed up? Ben Scott saw his dad laying there dead at a place with like ants crawling on him and stuff. He said,
What?
yeah, oh yeah. And I mean, I don't want to get like Australian
Right.
people after me or whatever, but yeah, there's a whole thing about it. So
Wow.
he was on the Stone Roadie podcast and talked pretty in depth about it. So, but yeah,
I think
And he, that was a real in-depth thing that I saw earlier in the year, man. He was a hardcore rock and roll dude,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He was as hardcore
Sure.
as they come, Bon
Right.
Scott, man.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
wow, that's funny because Corey Scott was my singer back in the day. That's missing. So
Oh,
Maybe-
wow, right?
maybe
Those Scots.
You never know.
Wow.
I took care of them guys for you, Nick.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick, we're coming up on that point in the show.
Hey, it's already.
That's right, it's that time. I
need
can't
a
believe it.
coffee.
I can hear him
After.
really good in here, man. I can't wait till you turn him up because I always like whenever when I put
I'll
on the
tell you what,
playback.
that Gretsch sounds good too.
Oh,
we still
man,
got
it does.
5
I didn't
minutes or
see it.
something.
What
It does.
model is it?
It's
I don't
Is
know.
it like a hollow body one?
No, that's what I wanted him to get because he's dying to
kinda
play
like,
one.
It's kind of like that.
That's next week, I hope.
Dude,
It's almost set up like
Like an SG or
what's his
something.
name from AC/DC? Not the main
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Jesus
Malcolm.
Christ. Malcolm. God, I can't believe my brain was
Yeah.
like. Pfft.
Malcolm.
It's kind of set up like Malcolm's, but it's not the hollow body. It's kind of got like the Les Paul look to it.
Yeah, that's it. It's not an SG. It's
I
a
know
Les
what you're
Paul.
talking about.
It's more round.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I have a pretty cool guitar collection.
You do.
Yeah, I could bring him some over. He could jam on. I have, speaking of Skynyrd and stuff, I won a '58 Carina that Brandon Miller built for the memorial committee and to raffle off to raise money and
Oh,
whatever. And
nice.
so that's a pretty badass one. '58 Gibson Carina. Alan Collins. It's relic to look and be and play and be exactly like.
Remind me to remind you to remind me to remind you when we later on, not necessarily on air, but maybe off air, about this guitar thing.
Okay. And some other
'Cause
ones.
I
I
know
got
I'll remind
somebody-
you to remind him to remind you to remind him.
Because, well, he
About
was
the guitar
talking
thing.
about Craig getting back into building guitars, and I know
Yeah.
a master
Sweet.
guitar builder.
And SG was used
What's his
on.
name?
Larry Daylo.
Larry Daylo,
Oh, yeah,
guitar
Larry.
master.
Larry was, watching him
He's a
play
craftsman.
live. He was so technical.
Yes.
He's
Theory.
He's very good.
Theory. And you know what? I told him the last time I saw him play, and again, every time I see him play, it reminds me more Eric Clapton. He's just got that touch.
Yeah. He
So-
plays harder than Eric Clapton.
Oh, yeah. He can.
The well-chaired Chuck says, 8-track in my 72 Chevelle playing perfect and not wobbling. Nice. The
Yeah.
old 8-track. Oh, Dave Evans. There he is. Thank you, whoever that is. What's that say? Winslow?
Yeah.
Dave
Red
Evans
Cr-
was the guy that sang for AC/DC
Evans.
before Bon Scott. Yep.
Oh, I got you.
Dave Evans. Thanks, buddy.
72 Chevelle. Heck yeah. So
Damn, that's the second time that's come up tonight. I told you that.
Yeah.
My buddies had a ragtop.
So I actually had
Super
one
Sport.
handed to me when I was 15. Todd Weber's brother, I can't think of his name. His buddy threw Todd the keys and said, "Here, we're gonna be gone for a while." It was a white 72 Chevelle with
Drive it
black
like you
racing
stole it.
stripes, and it had the old suitcase with every cassette tape of the modern era,
Right,
you know,
right.
so-
Nice.
and a kick-ass Alpine stereo and EQ. And some glass pack mufflers. It was a badass car. So Todd ended up letting me drive it for a couple of days. So I was 15 rocking a 72 Chevelle with, I think I was listening
That's
to
so
Judas Priest back then.
crazy,
and,
right?
And no, you know what? Cinderella had just come out, and I was rocking Hell on Wheels.
Nice.
I was Hell on Wheels.
I
rocking
graduated
Hell
in
on Wheels.
Good
92.
stuff. I love that album.
Tim Harder, if you're tuning in, his dad had that. I want to say it was a 72. It was a Chevelle Super Sport ragtop. It was all chromed out, and we took his box out of his Camaro and put it in the trunk of that. And then we were jamming King Diamond. We had the Beatles. We were really heavy into the Beatles, and we would go down to the park where everybody was having their bass wars back then. And we would come through and just blow
Blow it
everybody
all up.
out with King Diamond, and everybody would be like, "Oh, who are those guys?" That's funny.
So in case, just for you new people tuning in, what you hear back there is Ed's son Al jamming on guitar. We're
Alexander
getting ready
the
to
Great.
take a break here in a minute. We'll take like
Thank
5
you.
minutes, and we're going to
Gattusos.
send the camera to him. And we'll have him jam out. Obviously, we were supposed to have a drummer come over tonight to jam with him, but he didn't make it. He might make it later.
Might make it.
He was gonna
Later
come over,
on.
but then he got
Well,
hurt.
He had band rehearsal, and then
We're
my
right at that
son-
time too, right?
So we'll be back here in a minute. Let me go get this. We guys can
We're gonna
talk for a
switch
minute
him
until
over.
I get this all set up. Help Z get this going because it's a little bit different.
Yep.
I switched him in another room
He's
and
in
all
another
this
room.
other stuff. But I'll be back here in a second. Then we're going to take us a little 5-minute break, pee break, and all that stuff. So I'll be right back.
And you'll get to hear what we're hearing, I think, a little better, maybe. It's so much more concise in the earphones. That's good.
So when we were out there at the crash site, I walked on the crash site where the plane crashed, and actually I bought a drone, a really good drone with HD camera on it, video camera, and Chad flew it. He flew the exact path
Oh, wow.
of the flight and down to the crash site. So Survivor Films is that's Craig and Chad's company, and they've got possession of that with many other. Pretty much every Skynyrd home movie that you see was Craig.
Wow.
You know, and when you see the little blonde kid that the guys are playing with, that's Chad. So,
Right?
but we've got that footage, and it was amazing being out there. There's still stuff from the wreckage on the grounds out there. You can kick the ground up and find like a poker chip or a piece of the airplane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That blows me away, man. And like, I don't know. I'm a fan, but I don't know if I would want that. I don't know. Me and Tom talked about that before, like the Thurman Munson thing. He's a big man in this town, and somebody brought in a piece of the wreckage from that, wanting it appraised in our shop. And I remember I'd done the appraisal with some people that are pretty big in the hobby, and nobody wanted it. And then they ended up selling it privately for like a big rip.
He's a pretty tragic
I
one.
forgot to hit
Yeah.
record.
There wasn't movies made about it like there was with the Skynyrd plane crash.
Right,
So-
that's so like in the hobby of collecting of records. That album with the flames on it, that's like one of the big what do they call that? Grail records. It's a
Street
Grail
Survivors,
record.
yeah.
That's a Grail record. Yeah, because they did a second print of it that has that all black background, and that's the one that you see the most common. And when you see that, I actually found a sealed copy of that at auction one time, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get this. And then, oh my God, the bidding went insane because everybody else knew what I knew. And there was a sealed copy of it. That's going to go for big bucks. I think it went for like $300. I love old vinyl, man. You got a good record collection? You're into music. You collect vinyl?
It melted. I don't have any.
Oh,
so-
damn.
Oh, man, really?
Not the meltdown.
Yeah, my a couple of my sons are into it now, and they're young. They're 12 and 14. What's up, Colton and Caden?
I was going to ask you if you had kids. I didn't even know. How many kids do you have? 2
Let me
kids?
think. Yeah, well, I've got.
Or 2 that you know of. We'll talk about that in the second hour. Whenever we
Yeah,
get
apple didn't fall far from the tree, I think. So.
Does it ever?
Yeah. So yeah, I've got several kids out there, but.
Otto.
Look at this guy over here
My
spreading
boys,
his seed like Johnny
This
Appleseed.
guy, right? He sowed his oats, man.
Yeah, Kayla is the oldest one that I know of, and she's like 33, I think, and right around
33.
there.
That's.
Nick, he's about 28. Hey, Nick, I got a Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, and then
We're
Nate.
gonna make T-shirts, guys, that say "Hey Nick" on it. We're gonna start a thing here.
He's killing you with it. It's in my subconscious now.
Nate's a race car driver too. We've raced at Quaker City, and I taught him. He's the one I taught how to street race. So we've got videos of him dusting, like kids trying to knock him off, like, "Hey, I heard you think your car's fast," kind of stuff.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. And then Colton, he's a beast. He's only 14. He's like as big as Shaquille O'Neal, I think, right now.
Oh my God.
The last I checked, he was about 6'1" and 200 pounds.
Look at this
14.
proud papa over here going off about his kids.
Caden, he's a jammer. He'll fit in here. He's got the music in him. So
That's good.
yeah,
So,
Everybody that comes in here seems to.
yeah.
so what we're gonna need you to do, you local guys, when you go down to the Sparta, and if you've been there, you know, as soon as you come up the steps,
Uh-oh.
turn right, go, "Hey Nick."
Hey, Nick.
You have to start it every time.
And
Or you
like
can
that.
go down to their Facebook page and post a comment in there and just say, "Hey Nick" from the
The
Outhouse
Sparta
podcast.
Lounge.
You know what? You're talking about Jim. Jim probably
Yeah,
saw my
Jimmy.
band. Jimmy saw my band
I
play.
love Jimmy, man.
Nice.
In fact, one
Jimmy
of his cousins
Valles.
played drums, like tried to fill in for us one time, and the music went, or the sound system went crappy. So we were trying to play, and it was giving us this awful feedback. It was like my worst band experience ever. But
Hey, Nick, what's wrong with this junk over here?
All right.
Nick,
you got everything?
Jimmy is Nick's cousin at the Sparta, and he's like, hey, Nick. He's got this deep voice, and that's where we get it from, and it's funny and all that. So now you got to do it.
I'll
So,
hit
yeah,
the
we're
head
going to take a
first.
break, guys. We'll be right back. He's got to pee. So,
Whoa.
God, what'd you just do, dude?
sounds like
Sound like he broke something. Hope not.
you can hear the door slamming.
We shall be back, peoples. Or do the halftime, a little thing. Little halftime outro. It's already on.
Snacks and light refreshment
Start it over.
and cocaine.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Close it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be having a brief intermission in our feature presentation. We'd like to remind you all there are snacks and light refreshments at the front bar, hookers and cocaine in the back room. I know where I'll be. The second half of our program will begin momentarily, a little darker, slightly more sinister. Good times for all. Thank you and good night.
back.
Thanks for that green room. That was great.
Yeah, that's the
That green room was fun.
Sorry about the
Where
little
we
camera
talk.
mishap there, guys.
I can't say where, but
That
one time,
stupid camera, man. We're getting some new ones here soon.
Craig and I smoked a joint like in the cop shop before, but I can't say where. As far as you know, I just made that up. So
Sup, Gary?
Welcome back to the Outhouse podcast, where we talk shit about shit.
I gotta do something with this thing. It's gonna fall off here soon.
And
We're falling apart at the
where's the
seams.
zip
Wow.
screws?
we would never,
Need some zip screws.
Yeah, right.
we would never ever
We need a
ask
wood
you
table instead of a plastic one.
to subscribe and like and share and,
And
hit
do the
that
thing.
little bell.
Because this is a damn good show.
You guys wouldn't, but
yeah.
I would. I would say, you know what? People should. They should do that.
And you know,
I did.
We don't want to be
Go
those
back and-
kind of pests that'll tell you to like, subscribe, and share. It means everything to us, but we wouldn't want to tell you to do that.
You got to do it.
Hey, Nick, go down there and hit that button.
Hey.
Boy, we'll send them guys after you.
And look,
That's right.
look, like borrow people's phones and say, hey, let me use your phone and get on their YouTube
Oh,
and
that's
like
a
and
good
subscribe.
idea.
yeah, there you go.
That's a
I
great
like that.
idea.
Your kids, you
Recon.
know, whatever.
Hey, man, can I see your YouTube real quick?
Yeah.
I want to show you a song.
No, just say, hey,
A Chicken Coop Live song.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then hit that
That's
subscribe
called networking.
button.
You got to network.
Button.
And if you were
Hit the
tuning in during that little break,
button like
Alexander
they
the Great, my
That
son, my
amazing.
son.
He's still going. He's
I
a
don't
machine.
I don't know where the damn card was, but that guitar's for sale down there at Gattuso's for like $389. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I can
what the
tell you, it
price
plays
is.
fantastic. So
That's
it
right.
sounds
That's got a
great.
great tone to it. Did you notice it's? Man,
I
it
love
sounds great.
Everything
You know,
he plays.
I
sounds
like
good to
the
me.
Horton Heat. Reverend Horton Heat plays
Horton and who?
those big hollow body.
And that's what
crashes.
he's dying to play,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
is one of those hollow body. That's what I told Tom. I said, is it the hollow body? When he told me it was the Gretsch, and he was like, no, man, it's not the hollow body.
Yeah.
That thing's
when
like
you think Gretsch, that's what you
1928
think. Yeah.
hollow body.
Man,
I don't know what year it is, but it's an old son of a bitch, and they want a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be bringing that one. We'll
Yeah, you were
see.
telling me that it was from the 30s or
Yeah, I
40s
think
or
so. It's
something. That's
like-
really old.
It's an old dude hollow body. It's a Chet Atkins.
That's right.
I
I'm
guess it
guessing
ain't from the
50s.
30s or
I'm
whatever,
guessing
if
it's a
it's-
50s model.
Because
Just
Chet
imagine if
Atkins
that
ain't
could
that
talk.
old, but
If that guitar could, well, I guess you can make it talk, but you know.
That's right.
yeah.
If it could tell the story.
Oh, yeah, man. Everybody that handled it.
Yes.
If
They
they
be
could
like,
all
all
do
these
that.
musicians, man, been slobbering on me,
That's right.
doing cocaine off my back.
Well, that brings us right into that round of questioning, too. you
See how
know.
I did that?
We're coming
Nice.
right.
Nice segue.
A nice
He's a
hard
pro.
right off the rails.
Tom's a pro.
Speaking of rails.
Rails, yeah, there
So
you go.
whenever you were running around
See
with all
how he
these
did that?
rock stars, did the drug thing, come up a lot? We always ask
well-
that question, and no one ever likes to kiss and tell.
I would say that it in the car business, it was more prevalent. So I was.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I've seen the guys that I was around at a young age were
Salespeople in general.
they had the good stuff, I guess you'd say. So
Wired for sound.
So yeah, I was around that growing up, and but nothing, I smoked pot,
Settle down
did
over
some
there,
of that,
buddy.
but nothing
get
major.
comfortable.
Now I'll tell you what, shrooms are cool. I love doing mushrooms. They're
Now, see, I was, mushrooms
skirt.
always made me throw up. I could never hold them down, and I don't know,
I'm surprised you didn't drink them in tea or coffee.
the hallucinations were never. It always seemed like they were on the verge, and then it would stop. And
That's kinda-
I always
yeah.
said, I would rather just do the old LSD and get it over with.
Man,
and
LSD.
have fun, because you're strapped in for 17 hours or so if you play your cards right, and you're gonna have a lot of fun, and you're gonna see some
Yeehaw!
wild shit, man.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of LSD.
chicken.
so-
And it seems like the more of a person that can go inward, I don't want to say crazy, but the more you can go spiral in, you're going to have a
That's
much...
why I'm surprised you don't like shrooms. It's shorter. It's about 3 to 4
and that,
hours.
it is.
And it's natural. It's not. You feel.
And okay, so maybe I'll have my mind changed in my age.
Well, I'm gonna
because
change
it's
it.
come up.
I'm gonna change your mind. I've
Right.
got some friends that are growers of many different things, and one of them is killer shrooms. So.
Now psilocybin and all of that stuff, and ayahuasca, and there's a lot of them. But how about DMT? Have you done your due diligence on that one? Now, see, that's
I've been
that's where I'm
invited,
at.
but I did not.
That's what I want to do.
They say you talk to God on that shit, boy.
That's right. They
Open
say
up your
that.
third eye.
Well, if it's already open, and you've already done the meditating and that kind of thing,
All that
they
good
say that it
stuff.
helps, right? And when you're in that other place, that you'll see other like entities, and they'll be aware of you. That is intriguing.
Like, what
Yeah,
the hell are you
agreed.
doing
And
here,
it's only
human?
8 minutes, right? And it's only 8 minutes,
That's crazy.
and it's a shamanic.
It's like a
experience
lifetime
usually.
of experience in 8 minutes.
You got to find somebody that fashions themselves a shaman or is a shaman, and then it helps the whole experience because there's a process.
Sounds
There's a-
interesting.
Wheelchair
It's
Chuck
very
said, "Weed's
interesting.
break is officially over, and thanks for the ripping on the axe."
Oh yeah, isn't that kid good?
He knows the soul
He's
too well.
still
doesn't he?
playing, like just nonstop.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
I
does
know
it at
he
home,
don't even
too.
take a pee break.
Oh, you know who I did
He
mention
was playing before we even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was when they got here. As soon as he was
He was
pacing, I
already
was like,
playing.
"I'll go grab that guitar and play." And he's like, because he wants to play when he gets here. If he don't get to
Right.
play, man, he gets to pacing and shit.
Right.
Well, that's
Getting
Al,
in your way.
Al times two. 'Cause there's the drummer Al too that plays
Alan.
in the gas
Alan.
band.
Alan. That's right.
Alan and Al. But
That's right.
I haven't seen the ensemble with your son.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. He
man.
was supposed to come here tonight. He's having a little bit of problems. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe
I like
next
hearing
time.
Jimmy play, with Al, because he contains him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he has such a versatile body of work he can draw from, like you, and he's able to make Alex play at a different level and a different speed.
And all kinds of different
tempo.
types of music
That's
too.
right.
What's up, Black Rain?
Yeah, Black Rain.
But yeah, obviously there's partying that goes on in rock and roll, but I honestly don't think it's any more than any other business, because you don't forget I was a corporate guy too, and I would say the hardest partying that I've ever done was with corporate guys, because they got the money,
Right.
and it was. And when they blow off steam, they blow off steam. So
Oh, man, yeah.
we'll
Suit
get
and
some
tie guys.
serious
Get a little
vendors.
closer to the mic. Get
I
a little-
am
not
fading
that
off.
close, but just a little close.
That's right. There he is.
He was getting down.
That suit
Yeah.
and tie guy back when he
Yeah,
was,
the suit and tie
The
guys.
suit and tie guy.
Yeah, they showed me all kind of things up there.
We
So
got to keep you guys. Well, we're actually down. Let me move my mouse. The whole damn thing needs to move up because we're all kind of little. Move this up a little.
Well, we got to
bit.
get
Put
back
us,
into
Put us in the red.
what else you got
A little
over
bit.
there?
back into it.
You're asking me the drug questions. Yeah, I've
How about
done-
the groupie question? Because usually that's the one I ask first. So, like, I always ask the rock stars, and you had a band, those groupie girls are around. And then you were around all the
Actually,
rock stars.
But the coolest groupie story might be when I was 15, and I played at a battle of the bands, and we decided to go shotgun some beers and go out with some girls while the other bands were playing, like before they
Right.
announced the winner. So I jumped in this car. It was I think it was a Firebird or whatever, and so we go running through the neighborhoods or whatever, and we run into this girl, and she's flagging us down, and I think there's something wrong with the car, and I'm
Right.
like, so I pull over, and she's like, "Will you look at my boobs?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Will you look at my boobs?" And she shows me her boobs, and I'm like, "Yeah, look at your boobs," So she's like, "Will you come in our house?" So I went in there, and we were shotgunning beers and looking at boobs. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that was
It's
15.
always a good time
That's
there.
awesome,
Yeah.
right? That's
So
a
then
great
we went
time.
back and got like second place. But I will say everybody booed when they said who the winner was. But they were,
It's-
yeah.
It's always a battle of the band. Yeah,
We had
battle of the
we had an
band's
original
experience in the
song
beginning.
too, which everybody liked. But I'll tell you what, we came in and played. I think it was "Talk Dirty to Me" by Poison, and it had just come out.
There you
And literally,
go.
we were the only band that all the girls in the crowd rushed the stage as soon as we started. It was like boom, and me and Steve looked
And
at each
the,
other
and the
like,
guys over there playing
"God."
Iron Maiden and shit was like, what the fuck,
Oh,
man?
a van that played.
Boom!
I
I put
knew
a
it was
quarter
coming.
in there.
It's your quarter, so I don't care.
Potty mouth.
But yeah, groupies, and then in promoting,
It's not real.
Wow, right. You
yeah,
know,
that's a whole other story of groupies. The groupies ascend to the next level, I would say.
that's
so,
right. That's right. There's a hierarchy.
Yes, and I had at one
Moving
time.
on up on them groupies, boy.
There were, I don't. There's some classy ladies out there that
That's them credit card groupies.
they would like to, they like a man friend, and so they would pay your way, so to speak, if you lived at their house and were their man, and did some things or whatever.
Just a gigolo everywhere Otto goes.
So that's what groupies you get as in that end of the business, I would say. So
Nice.
yeah. So there were. I think at one time I had about 4 or 5 offers all at once to go live in a different state with with a lady.
Oh man.
But I didn't.
Must be over there like a horse talking about, hey, Nick.
Dude, you believe this guy?
They call me Wilbur.
Yeah. But I tell you, the girls down in the Appalachians and whatever in Virginia and Big Stone Gap and whatever, the 2 girls down there, Amber and Madison, they're sweethearts, and pretty much everybody I met in that area.
Otto, you're striking me as a bit of a ladies' man.
No, I'm just friendly.
It's that charmer. He's a charmer. You gotta watch this guy.
I met them through Steve, and I had a lot of fun down in Big Stone Gap and those areas in Virginia. Virginia's a great place. So, and I always drive past like Hazard, Kentucky, which is always cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
Did you ever see anything that just really blew your mind?
Yeah, I've seen lots of things that blew my mind, but what do you mean?
In that whole world, of Party Town, we were talking off camera about the funny white powder that the rich people love to indulge in, the cocaine world. And
well, that's the stuff where you can't kiss and tell. So I mean,
that's right.
And it's not because I wouldn't want to tell the story. If the people were past, then it would be different.
Right.
But I would say, like hypothetically, if they're
That's more along the lines of where
if I was
going
gonna make up a story of something that I might have, dreamed of doing on the road or whatever, but
In a dream.
I mean, yeah. Imagine being in a place where most of the people are naked, and there's trays of every drug that you can think of, and pretty much anything goes.
Isn't that Diddy's house?
Well, I didn't see any. I didn't see anything.
Wow, don't want to go there.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, people have different. People are eccentric in different ways. So
You got that right.
and a lot of artists have so much passion and so much feel that they dabble and they experiment and they try to find depths through drugs and self self pleasures of many levels and planes.
You got
and
that
stuff.
right.
So yeah, I mean it just comes with the territory. If you're around race cars, you're gonna see what mechanics do. If you're around rock
Bush
stars,
beer.
you're gonna see what groupies do. So
And
yeah.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Groupies.
I would have liked to have been around on my dad's band in the 70s, Johnny Showboat.
And
is
there
what
we
they were
go.
called,
We're
yeah.
right back into it. I love the way you did that because I was just going to ask
See
you
what he
that.
did there?
We've been talking off camera about your
Yeah.
pop, and that music you played
Might
is
be
really
some
cool.
remakes in the making there, huh?
Yeah. So my brother John gave me permission to use my dad's songs, and I think "Walk with Me" was on the charts in '75, and there's a few other songs that they'll transition. Right now, they have a definitely have a period-specific sound. Like
Yep.
we definitely captured the era and the essence of what was going on in '75. As soon as you hear it, you
Right.
feel it. And
I love it.
So, but I think that we can convert that to some modern sounds and do something with that.
And how did you find this stuff?
Well, so my mother is she's a character. She's not a good one. Most people don't talk bad about their mom, but I'm not going to say anything good. So there you go.
Oh, man.
That's as good as it gets, right?
Oh,
so she
man.
comes up to me in a parking lot one
You
day
know
and
who
says,
you won't be seeing for dinner at the end of the
"Oh,
show.
I haven't seen her in probably a decade."
Enjoy that
so-
top ramen for Thanksgiving.
Oh, so about that last question, most people say, "Mom, you ain't gonna be saying that shit."
right.
No, I'll tell you, I wish at Mother's Day
Well,
I
hey.
had a sweet mom to think of and stuff. But
Hey, every second is a chance to turn it around, man. It's a chance to turn it around.
well,
That's what I've learned from this
how'd that
guy.
work out with Charles Manson?
I mean,
think
for
you
real
know.
though, but yeah.
He has real, mommy issues, So at Mother's Day, I wasn't going to go see my family because I was coming out of that real awful divorce stuff, and there was a lot of stuff going on around my world, and I wasn't in a real good place with Mom. And Tom's like, well, she ain't going to be around forever, dude.
You getting that age, bro.
You better go over there and tell your mother
I said,
Happy
mine's
Mother's
gone,
Day
dude.
and quit being an ass. And I was like, you're right. So I did, and I'm glad I did. I really am. It actually, we were able to put some things to rest, which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Always good.
it's good to get closure. And,
It is, man. And I'm a big believer in positive steps forward, man. And you only got one mommy, man. We always
Yeah.
close the show out with that because of that question you asked,
Yeah.
too. Because
Right.
about every guest picks Mom for that,
Most of them, not every guest.
well, right, but
It ain't gonna be me.
most.
I'm not most people.
and look,
No,
we're
you're
we're
not.
already
No, you're
way
not.
over
And you know
half.
what? You do. Everybody's journey is different. So your mom and
So
you.
she comes up to me at a youth football game. I just coached a game and won the game. Everything's good. It was a tough game, but she comes up and she
So
goes,
you coach youth football too.
I coached all up. Well, yeah, I coached youth, junior high, and high school football.
Oh man, you are a go-getter, Otto.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
got a lot of irons in the fire, and you're thumbing a lot of
Yeah.
pies.
Well,
Clearly, from what I've seen, he don't mess around.
no,
Well, if
clearly.
you're gonna do it, do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
Do it well, sir.
Do it well. Yeah. Don't suck.
That's
Whatever
right.
you do, don't suck. That has Skynyrd roots too, actually. So, yeah. But she goes, "Hey, this is your biological father." I think I was 41 or 2, 40. I don't know.
And this is totally out of left field. There's no preparation or anything, man.
correct.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is Dad.
This is Dad.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's
Here you go, Dad.
And who?
Drops him on your lap
and who
shit,
was
like,
Dad?
whoa,
Who,
what?
was he a rock star?
John Stefanik. Yeah, he was lead singer and guitar player for Johnny Showboat. They had some success, and then when he got out of that, he was a race car driver. He was
Johnny was a
sponsored-
race car driver.
Yeah,
What if that's what the
absolutely.
song's about, huh?
Maybe.
That's right.
It's possible. He was sponsored by Miller Beer, so he was like
Nice.
one of the only cars with a real sponsor
That's
on
cool,
it.
man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he won at Midvale and Barberton and Canton Motor
Do you
Speedway.
guys have a
Motor
relationship?
Speedway, I ain't heard
He's
that in a while.
passed.
He passed? When did he
Yeah.
pass?
A couple years back. It's just
So she waited until after the fact to tell you.
no. I didn't believe her. So at first I was like,
Oh, no
there's
shit.
another guy the Black Widow's taking to the cleaner. You know what I mean? So I just didn't believe her at first. And then somebody had mentioned that I looked like Matt Stefanik before, and I remembered that. And so I looked him up. I'm like, man, I do kind of look like that cat. Well, it turns out he's my half brother. So, so I did some DNA testing, and then by the time I found out he was my father, he was passing. So
That's crazy.
I got to be with him on his final days. Myself. and
So
my
you
brother
did get
and I.
to. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
But then since then, I found out that we're pretty damn similar. So what's kind of tragic, really, is I had a business just maybe a mile from Canton Motor Speedway, and I could hear him winning races. So him and my
Didn't even know.
we didn't know each
That's
other
wild.
existed, right?
wow.
Yeah.
That is so
That's
wild.
There's a Hank Williams song, you know, and he says a song about a life like mine, you know,
This guy's gonna make me cry over here.
a woman's
Bring
lies.
it on the tears, he is.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, man.
So yeah, I heard him winning races and didn't even know he existed. And I was working in cars. I sold guys parts. I used to buy cars and use an old Ford 9N tractor to pull the engine out. And
Did he ever buy parts off you
He
before
might
you
have.
knew who he was?
I don't know, because people would bring guys over. It's possible. It's possible.
Wow.
That is crazy.
But I
You
didn't
know?
know. Yeah.
All that, he might have come over his damn self. He might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as that goes, you wouldn't have known.
No, I was selling them big Rochester 500 2 barrels. Everybody wanted them, and I knew they were on the, some of the Catalinas and Bonnevilles. I'd go buy a Bonneville for $100.
Sell the
Catalina.
carburetor.
Oh man, I'd run the shit out of it, like just run stuff over. If it was wintertime, I'd be blowing through snowbanks with snow exploding and
Oh,
whatever.
that's fun. I've
And then
done
I
that.
would take them back and pull everything out, and the carb, because they either had an 800 Quadrajet, 4 barrel, or a 500 2 barrel, and both were desirable. So carburetor would go, motor would go, tranny would go. Then Max the junk man would come and get the car, and I would get my original $100 back pretty much from Max the junk man, and all the rest was profits. So.
Nice.
Now, for our gearheads that are listening, what's your favorite cars, man? You've been in that world for a while.
Yeah.
Hat.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I've had pretty much every muscle car you can ever think of.
You're out of frame.
My first
Ed.
car after I was
noticed
legal to drive was a Cutlass. I had a 72 Cutlass.
Oh, my God. My dad had one of those, I think.
Yeah, I loved that car, but really I think a C5 Corvette, Z06 C5 Corvette, because they're still a small block Chevy. You can go 170 plus miles per hour on pump gas with air conditioning,
Sweet.
cranking music. So I had, when I was racing recently, I used a 2000 C5 Corvette, and I was never a Corvette guy. Like, they just didn't do. I liked
That's the
some
midlife
of the.
crisis car.
Yeah, right.
That's for whenever you're losing your shit and you're grasping at straws. No, I'm just kidding.
It didn't go like that exactly. It just it came up at an auction, and it was triple black, and I found out later it was the last one in 1999. So everybody signed it because they didn't know if they were going to be back to work on Monday because the Y2K.
Oh, man,
So
that's
the
right.
first time I put my car on a lift,
Wow.
it has all these signatures and names. I'm like, what is
Wow.
this? So I look it up, and here it was the manager and all the people on the staff on the
That's fucking-
GM plant. And so.
Boom.
Sorry, the Corvette made me do it. That's effing cool.
But I'll tell you what,
Sorry, Mrs.
I
Buttons.
cut
Sorry,
a
Mom.
12-second quarter mile, go 170, and ride there and with the air conditioning on. So I mean, I've kind of fell in love with those cars. It's like buying a supercar. I paid, I think, $12,500 for that car at the auction.
Wow.
I couldn't even come close to building a car. That, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you couldn't even come close, and I could stop and corner and everything. So truthfully, even though I've had, Cudas and all the Chevelles.
Oh, wow.
And,
I think my mom had a Cuda.
yeah, I
You
had
had a
a
Cooter?
big block Chevelle.
I had a
really
cooter
liked.
once.
Cooter, yeah, I've had some Cooter, but when I was young, I was stereotypical. I had
Crazy Cooter.
the mullet and the Trans Am back in that era, so I had a few Trans Ams, stick shifts. I think I placed in the high
me a
school
Trans
nationals
Am,
in a
oh, boy.
Mustang once, a stick shift. Everybody's like, "You'll never make it out of the first round, kid." I was like, "Yeah," So next thing you know, I'm in the finals, and some kid beat me with a slow car, but they run a handicap, so that they give the guy a head start. And I caught him. I actually ran my best
couldn't
dial
get
in.
him around
Like, I
him.
delivered. Like, I
Right.
ran my best 60-foot time. I ran my absolute best dial in, like almost perfect, and he still won. I was like, well, what can you do?
Right.
But he was in his mom's 4-door Buick Skylark that ran like an 18-second
Oh, my God.
mile.
I had a Skylark.
Oh my gosh.
I hated that
He
car.
was so far ahead of me, and I'm trying to run him down. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to catch him. Then just at the end, I get there, and I truly didn't know if I won or not because it was photo
That
finish.
close,
Wow.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he won, so yeah.
You've done a lot of cars from the photos you showed me, because as soon as I mentioned that 64 Ford Fairlane my buddy got, you knew his name right away,
yeah,
Dwayne,
right.
and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I saw him,
Dwayne,
that
shout
guy.
out. We used to cruise with that car up and down on Tusk back in the
Oh
day.
yeah, I sold you that car. That was a cool car, man. You had a sweet car.
We had a lot of fun in that car, man. Met a lot of girls in that car, man,
bet.
back in 92.
It stood out. It was red with like I think it had the chrome or white trim on the side that
Oh,
year
man,
too.
I
but
loved
yeah.
riding around in that car, man.
was a
Everybody,
sweet car.
all the old guys wanted to
Well,
come
that's
up and
probably
check
how
it
I
out,
know you
know,
from
you know.
before too.
That might have been it too. Maybe we
Yeah.
bumped into each other then,
Yeah, right.
He loved that car.
That was a
Shout
cool
out
car.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne Shepard.
Yeah, his dad tried to get a Mustang off of my partner Mark back in the day. It was a 2+2 '65 Mustang, I think that was.
I like the old Mustangs too. My friend Tim Harder, again, Tim's coming up about the cars. The Camaro, man, he turned me on to Camaros. Was it '67 or '68 was the first one?
'67, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I thought. And I think I saw a '68 with him one time. I remember he lost his shit over it, but I had no idea because he was that guy.
Yeah.
And like he just went on, and then we had access to that Chevelle.
So me and my buddies, we used to go race, street race back in the day, and that's why I was cool with my son doing it. This is all hypothetical.
No, we're talking
This
shit
is
about
purely
shit.
entertainment.
Right.
That's right. It's all jokes.
But stick shift, I always liked stick shift. I had a '70 Buick GS stick shift I won a lot of races with. And but one night I was with my two girlfriends, Laura and Sherry. And Sherry I went on to marry later on. But we were cruising.
Was that wife number one?
Oh yeah, that was. We were cruising up Cleveland Avenue by State Street, and we had just been out on State Street in Alliance and dusted another Buick GS. I was in a stick shift GS and I beat a black one that used to run around up there. He got a lot of people tried to race him. It was a fast car, and
Right.
I won. I was feeling pretty cocky, and this an AAR CUDA comes up next to me, and he's bouncing. I was like, oh, here we go. Man, this guy shot past me like he was shot out of a cannon, and I'm like, like that was like the first major defeat I ever had in a car. I don't know. He had a rocket in it or something. I'm not sure.
Tim
But
and me both had lead feet, but Tim used to scare me, man. And I remember one night we dusted a guy in an IROC up on West Tusk, and he got so pissed, he chased us all the way back to East Canton.
Oh, wow.
We ended up taking him out on like the oil roads because I didn't know if he had a heater or what, man, because he was pissed.
Did you guys beat him?
Oh yeah, when you're getting chased up one-way roads by a grown-ass man and you're a kid, it's a little spooky.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
And he was riding real
For
low
other
with
reasons,
the ground
but-
effects on that IROC, and we took him out that oil road behind the old Mighty Mike field
Oh,
to talk
yeah.
about.
Orchard View.
And I know the next day he was cussing us because you could just see the sparks flying when we went over that hill. It was like the Dukes of Hazzard, man.
oh man, you know where Pekin comes down at Orchard View?
Yes,
Yeah.
very well.
I was coming from Trump and Orchard View.
Okay.
Right. And
That's the hell turn.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
yeah.
love that
I was
turn,
trying to
man.
lose a
We used
guy,
to
and I
fly
knew that
on
turn.
bikes down that
and I
son of a
floated
bitch.
it, and I barely made it, and he wiped out. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was kind of a
See,
similar story.
You just gotta
so,
hug
yeah.
that inside because it's banked just right, man. If
Yep.
you hug that inside, you can fly around
If
that
you
corner,
don't,
dude.
it's-
Oh, you're done.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you,
You got to do it like a NASCAR track, dude. You got to get that inside and go around that bitch.
and you know how
you're gone, bro.
bad that turn is. So like, I want to say it was 2010. We got crazy ice storm, and I was coming up by the old drive-in on Pekin, and I came up over that little hill right there, and a truck had come up before me and left its 18-wheeler
Oh,
imprints in the damn ice, which made it like a
Rough.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
It pulled me into it,
Follow
and I
these.
could not get out. So we went down the hill the way he did. And I ended up off on the side of the road, almost on my side right there. I thought we were going into the
Oh,
turn
man.
where everybody was, and everybody was sliding out right there, and I knew we were going to get hit.
Wow.
Because there was just chaos all of a sudden right there in that spot. And there were about 8 vehicles down there. The Johnson brothers, I think it was Lightning Rod. Thank you, Rod.
Oh,
He pulled
yeah.
me out. Yeah, Rod came and pulled me out. He
One
goes,
of
Eddie
those guys-
Badinsky, I got you, man. And he pulled me right out.
I think I got a car off one of those guys. Was that Dave Johnson and had his body shop down there?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they had a farm that they had down that way, I know.
You know what? There's somebody I wanted to mention. I was looking down here. Andy Tanis. He's a really cool guy. He was in the band Crocus in Black Oak,
Oh,
Arkansas.
I remember Crocus.
Yeah, Crocus,
Come on,
Ballroom
who
Blitz.
didn't? If you buy
Yeah.
Hit Parader magazine, man, their ads are always
And
in there too.
I don't remember seeing him before, and I just thought he looked cool. Like when I was young, I was like, that guy looks cool, And then I listened to some of his music and stuff. And then it turned out he knew Craig, and I'm like, wow. So
Small world.
I
Small
talked to
world,
Andy
right.
about car buying and that kind of stuff, and then I ended up giving him some song lyrics that I wrote, and he loves them. So he's composing that song.
That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. Like
That's
I know what
awesome.
the melody was, and I wrote them, and then he kind of had to shorten the chorus a little bit. So yeah, look for that coming out. from
Otto is a writer as well.
I was
Yeah.
gonna try to get Gas to do a damn intro for Craig's too one of these
yeah.
days. a rock version of the Stone Roadie morning show.
Yeah.
We'll see though what happens.
Otto, you're a man of
We
many
gotta get our
talents.
I made a
shit done
video
first.
for that song, but we couldn't use it because of copyright. I put the Simpsons in it.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
You are a man of many talents. It's really cool that our paths are crossing this way, because it just seems like this thing is getting momentum, Tommy. Moving
Well,
forward,
let's hope so.
we're pulling in a lot of really creative people, and you're noticing the same thing that I've noticed. There's a revolving door of just studio-ready musicians that are coming in here, and we can do some really cool stuff.
Speaking of
A lot
which,
of options.
we figured out the audio. So as soon as after Sunday, we're going to try to get this shit straightened around. So we should be able to turn ourselves up and be louder on YouTube now. And instead of, people always say, man, we got to
Everybody
turn you
keeps
up
telling
more than
us they gotta
everybody.
turn their volume
Turns
up.
out it was the camera changer that's totally destroying our audio. And then the live shows will be fantastic. As long as we can get it to line back up with the video, we're going to have to play with it a little bit.
So
but
I
we
noticed
finally
that-
figured it out.
Well, you master all that stuff, but I'm looking at your rug. So I'm like, the studio I was in down in
That's funny.
St. Augustine, it was Retrophonic Studios down there. So I got to do a project with Barry Lee Harwood and Derek Hess. They were Rossington Collins' band, and I know you know Rossington Collins.
Right,
band,
yeah,
so-
their
We had a
records I
discussion
see
about that earlier.
a lot
Yeah.
because I do
Ed
records.
didn't
man.
realize that all them guys were tied in to Skynyrd, like 38
Yeah.
Special, Rosington
Yeah.
Collins, all
Molly
them guys.
Hatchet. I mentioned all those southern rock bands, right? And you mentioned the what was the other one that triggered that?
Yeah.
Allman Brothers.
No.
Nope, same time period.
Shit.
Marshall Tucker.
Marshall Tucker, that's who
And
it was.
I was telling him that every time I would get a record collection that had Rosington Collins in it, it had all those records in it,
Yeah.
and all the Skynyrd. And I was
Right.
like, why the hell is this collection? Why am I finding it all over the place?
Right.
Because
Right.
you know,
Well,
and every
that's why.
collection, every collection has Herb Alpert, the Tijuana Brass whipped cream in it. Everybody loved that cover, the lady covered in whipped
Yeah.
cream, because I was saving them for a solid year at my record store. And I think I had 50 of them. So that means out of
Well-
the 50 record collections, that was in there.
For the viewers that don't know, the Rossington Collins band was the remaining members of Skynyrd after the plane crash.
And see,
basically.
right, and I never
yeah.
knew that until he told me that, man.
Yeah, and then they were doing well, and then Alan Collins was in a car accident, and then I think that's pretty much what did him in. So,
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so Barry Lee and Derek Hess, they were fun as heck. Barry Lee is like, he's like the grand wizard of guitar. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done it all. He plays such fluent slide and everything. It's great.
Let me go get
Spectacular.
this set up.
This is pretty cool. Hey, you know what? Wait a sec. Let's do. Remember, you said we were going to take a second break. Let's just do like a little breakout for like 2 minutes. That's all right. Everybody knows what we're doing. We got a
But the
Go
thing
set it up.
is I'm gonna have to, I didn't. Well, I won't have. Well, we don't need a camera, but yeah. You sure? It ain't even.
We're almost there, and they just got here, so we want to do it seamless. And they'll tune in. We got a drummer here now.
Well, I know. Well, you guys need to just.
You're right. Okay,
I'll just
you know
keep
what?
talking.
Let me take a.
All right, go
You know
ahead.
what I'm saying?
This break brought to
We
you by.
got things going on here.
Well, hell,
You
we'll
think
just talk.
the way he jumps up, you think he'd have to poop.
You got to set those guys up.
No, all I got to do is turn on the drums. I haven't tweaked the drums, so this is going to be weird. I don't know what that. We're just going to have
What's
him
up,
start
guys?
playing.
I'm Otto.
Steve Witt, Dan, just walked in the door.
So we got some guys in the studio
He's
here.
going to go jam. If I had other things set up, we have Dan the Man jam with him too. But we only got we're working with small areas here. But what was we talking? Oh, that Rosington Collins and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that
and-
type of stuff.
Yeah. So there's a. Working on a video. I've been taking too long, but it's for a song called "Getaway" that Six Gun, the band out of Virginia, with Sada Davison. She's a Jacksonville area singer. She was previously like kind of a Motown singer and worked with Deb McDuffie. That is like from the Jackson family and stuff. And yeah, so that's out on pretty much all the music platforms.
Nice.
And Slicks and Revolver, they've got some stuff out. And then Andy, he's in Memphis. So if you guys are out in Memphis, check him out. He still
Right
does
on.
live shows. Andy Tanis out there and some of the clubs in that area. So
All right.
You feel better
Sorry.
now?
Yeah.
All
That
right.
break
Well,
brought to you by
let me jump
renal
back
cell
real quick and see what I can do. I'll be right
carcinoma,
back.
kidney cancer. Yeah, dude, I tell you, man, I'm just, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well, you're still here, so that's.
You know, right? And that's what I keep telling myself every day. You know, I do that every morning too because that was such a beast.
The guy down at the Retrophonics studio would be a great cat to have on a podcast.
Well, you
Jimmy.
know, and I'm excited
Jimmy
about
DeVito's
that
his name. Jimmy.
because, and I saw, you know, on your list of folks that we talked about before the show too. So who is that?
He's got a studio down in St. Augustine, Florida, that most of the southern rock bands they go to get that sound. That's
So
how they
he's got
produce.
stories.
Oh, he's got stories. He's got stories that go way back. He's got vintage equipment in there.
Nice.
You know, that they don't use anymore. But you want to sound like, you know, you want to use the equipment and the amplifiers and everything. And they recreate the sound. It's fantastic. It is.
That's
it's a
cool. I
great-
just seen that one video about Dave Grohl buying that whole studio where they did the Fleetwood Mac. I think it was Rumors. They did that album,
Cool.
and they a lot of people did a lot of albums there actually, and that's why he got it. And
Yeah, I
it's-
was in the bathroom in this place, and there's signatures everywhere. So there's an automotive one in there.
I
put-
love that, you know.
Yeah,
that's so
that's
cool. And when you're playing out in a band too, sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
and you go into the green room,
Yes.
or that is so cool when you see who was there before you.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
that's a big thing. Like our band, I was really looking forward to playing. Oh, damn it! And now it's escaping me.
What, one of the venues around here?
And no, it was one of the ones in New York, the big ones where the Ramones played and Blondie and everybody.
Oh, the
I-
ABGBs?
Yeah, CBGBs.
Yeah.
That was the one that was on my list that I really wanted to play back in
Oh,
the
wow.
day. And we were right there. We were right there when
that'd have been a
everything
cool
fell
one for
apart.
sure, yeah.
Because, you know, that was that stage, man. You know, the Talking Heads played
Oh, my
there,
gosh.
and like a lot of people
The
did,
talent,
man.
yeah, Ramones, Talking Heads, and Blondie. I mean,
And when you're on that stage,
didn't Lou Reed play in there too?
right, you're
Yeah.
in that energy field, you know. It's just there's
Absolutely.
something about it. You're tapping into it, you know. I don't know. We played Cleveland, you know, and that was really cool. But I was really excited to take a road trip as a band. We never made it that far, other than Cleveland, you know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Steve Whitmer back there with Al
Wit, that's right.
on the drums.
On that new drum kit you got.
See
back
how it
there.
is. I didn't get to tweak them in. Tweaking. They sound a little. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Sounded like he was gonna
Different.
play "Earache My Eye" there for a second.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised because he's been watching that movie over and over. Yeah.
I'm a sucker to be trying to tell me how to live. But I don't listen to it.
I can't tell you how many times me and that kid have watched that movie
Listen,
together.
listen for a second. Let's hear them. We never got to experience Al getting a jam while we're jamming with a drummer.
Right. Wit played with him on the set.
You're right,
back here.
right.
Where'd
Oh.
he go? Get them drums.
Come on.
It's all tight back
Yeah.
there. He's got to get comfy.
I know. Pretty soon we'll have a whole band back there with Al.
It's going to be great.
Sounds like an Iron Maiden song.
Uh-huh.
Right. It's cool because the original
Can you sing like
stuff
Bruce Dickinson?
now-
comes
now
up.
he
No,
can
that
just-
falsetto stuff. No, I could never really do that. I could make fun of King Diamond pretty good though. The guys were like, "You need to do that."
Put some lyrics on there. You got some lyrics? Man, I'll tell you what, I stopped at the gas station and bought that stuff. That's pretty good.
What's that?
That tobacco.
Yeah. That's that gas station brand.
Yeah, what is that? They call it 9 Delta.
Bugler.
Delta 9.
Delta 9. It's a gas.
Bugler.
That's pretty cool, you know, that we got people that are actually willing to come in and play with Al.
So
Yep.
for me, having just toured with, you know, like around the South with different musicians and some pretty talented people, and then to come here, and there's a couple of guys in the house that, well, really at different age levels even, that are
Right.
like, wow, like,
Uh-huh.
because you don't, you know, there's some really talented people. There's people that aren't necessarily talented but work hard and can play
Right.
stuff, you know,
Right.
but the natural talent guys and gals are hard to come by.
That's
And-
right.
And you guys you have that here in this chicken coop.
There's a lot of natural talent in this area, and it's just a matter of getting it out,
Yeah.
getting them to come in.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
and I know we've got a lot of people moving forward that are.
Well, if Daystar does that, if we build a show for them and their grand opening, I'd like to get maybe you can have a competition even for the best local act, and they can open up.
And we were talking about that too. You know, Tom's had this dream of a karaoke contest type thing.
I mean, I think, because there's a lot of people out there that can sing, but don't have a means to get a band or all that effort. You know what I mean? We'll spotlight them, but we was waiting to do that till we get some sponsors so we can have some prizes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that seems to
makes
be
it
the
fun.
thing, right? That'll get people motivated to want to, come in and do it.
And I already got
And
a
we
bunch
wanna-
of people that's ready to go,
Right.
man. All we got to do is say when, and they're ready to go.
Right. That's right. And then it's a matter of getting other people signed on to keep it going.
And yeah, I mean, once we do one, they'll come flocking, I think.
And then we were talking about the format of it.
Sounds like he just turned the drums up.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
I think it sounds good. Sounds good in the earphones.
It's bumping.
Yeah.
You
Definitely
have
some depth
Oh,
to
you know
it.
what I think he did was change the programs. That
They give
actually
a different
sounds
sound,
better, yeah. That one does.
That's pretty cool about electric drums.
Uh-huh.
It was wild when he was setting it up back there. He was showing me. He's like, dude, look at what I got now. Someone's going to be able to play drums without
Thanks to
back here.
Gattuso's Music and More.
That's right.
So on here on this little list, you have Tanner Reed on there.
Tanner Reed.
Oh, I
How
just
did I
did
not
that,
talk
my
about?
bad. I don't know what I did, but I just did that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Are we on?
Oh,
There
thank
we
you.
go. Tanner Reed. So you talked about talent, right? And we talked about me coaching sports. I actually coached some championship girls softball teams, football and basketball. And Tanner Reed is a rare and exceptional talent. I got to watch him play baseball. He's a pitcher. With Craig, we were in Florida and watched him play a college game, and then I've watched videos of him. He's legit, and it's amazing. I know Craig played baseball. He was a good athlete, and Chad was a
I
good
love
athlete.
baseball.
Chad is.
My son's a pitcher.
If he wasn't a dwarf, he probably would have made it to the big leagues. But
That's what my son keeps telling me. He didn't get my height. He was pissed. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's,
So, but Tanner is great. I mean, this
There's
guy.
a hole.
He's got that
Yeah.
extra something that the harder the situation is, the brighter he shines. You know what I mean? There's no moment too big for him. He's got to get a little bigger, and he's got to mature. He's still just a kid, but man, his ceiling is high. He's the real deal. And I'm not on here talking about anybody else's. I watch a lot I kids play sports, right? He is a standout. It just,
Yeah.
he is
That's awesome.
outstanding. Yeah, and I don't know I don't remember the school that he's at now. He just did a transfer to another school, and but yeah, check him out. I think there's Chad's got some videos pitching on there. He comes out to Freebird too. That's what he comes out to when he comes out to pitch on the mound.
Uh-huh.
And the fans seem to love that. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I love baseball.
Yeah. So.
I played all over the field. And I taught my son, Eddie, how to throw a knuckleball when he was 3. So his first game in Little League, or whatever they called that,
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
was
What you doing there, Ed?
he was catching. And they had to return the ball to the coach. And he threw back a perfect knuckleball to the coach. He turned around in the crowd. He goes, "Dad, did you see that? It didn't move at all." And the coach goes, "Did you show this little boy how to throw a knuckleball already?" And I was like, yeah. And it stuck. So now he's 23, 24. He had his second tryout with MLB. And he's still trying.
you
I'm
look
going to
like,
give him that. He's like me. He goes
with
after
your
it.
frame, you probably threw some heat, I would imagine.
Well, that's what he's doing too, and he is. He's touching the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. He told me pretty good, and he's doing a lot of lifting because he didn't get my height, so he's trying to get that power. And when he hugged me for Father's Day, it was just like he's just solid muscle,
Now, now, when I was down there in Florida and we was hanging out with Chad, Tanner, he was not little, but he was doing the BMX thing. And he had this bike, dude. I swear you could hold this whole entire bicycle with your pinky finger. And I've got
Lightweight,
pictures of us
right.
doing it. I've got us when we was all down there. We all took a picture holding his bike up and shit.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. We got pictures of him by his bike.
It was called Rad, wasn't it? Like Rad.
Right. Maybe that's where I know you from back in the day.
Rad
Back at Big Ben. Did you ride your bikes back at Big Ben?
Yeah.
Did you have a mongoose or a piranha?
Of course, we had a mongoose,
Yeah.
Diamondback.
Diamondback, right?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Hey,
my-
Nick, I got this badass Diamondback over here with these aluminum rims and
That's
these
right.
knobby tires over here. We go riding in the pits, man. Hey, what are you talking about?
I
Back
had
in the
the-
pits, the strip pits.
I had
That's
the
right. It
silver
was right
mongoose
there,
with
man.
the yellow tough wheels, I think they were called. Remember
Oh, man.
the yellow tough wheels, the plastic wheels, or whatever they were, yeah.
That's funny you said Rad, and that was such a huge movie back then, man. We all wanted a good bike after that summer. Huffy just didn't do
Sounds
it
like-
anymore.
Sounds like we're sitting outside of a concert
Right?
doing a live broadcast.
I know, man.
Wait a minute, we are.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool whenever you get that improv flow.
So you guys, you know, Al's got this drums back there, and if anybody wants to come play, and I mean, in all seriousness, we can get a bass back there or whatever. So, you know, you guys want to come be part of Al's little thing here, just get at us or just show up.
That's right. What better way
Every
than to just
Wednesday
show up?
from 8 to 10 or 8 till whenever we feel like going off, because clearly we're in our 2-hour mark now, but we ain't going nowhere.
Did you
We're
get?
having fun, aren't we?
Did you get his camera?
No,
So we
I
can't
gotta,
show
I
'em?
gotta dump it. Remember, I just did that the other day.
That's what I was
Oh, yeah.
wondering.
I was like, damn, it filled up quick, dude.
Wow, I can't believe how fast that.
I mean, I know it's like two shows ago. I just dumped it, and that, it filled up quick.
I'll tell you what, I would like, you know, I talked to you guys about putting together a band. I call it a house band or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Something, a band with talented members that are, you know, hardworking and want to do it and want to make
Exactly.
it. Because that's part of the problem I see with some of the bands traveling. They just really don't want to take advice from anybody. They don't see the business side well.
And the business side is the most important side. Little do you
Show
know.
business, light
Right.
to
I mean,
limelight
what-
means
what
you got to
most-
deal with show business.
What most of them don't understand is you're building a product and it's a brand. It's not
Right.
just some guys jumping on stage. It can be if that's what you're into and you just want to have fun. But
Right.
if you want to take it seriously, you got to market it as a brand. And you got to sell that brand, dude. And I mean, sell
Well,
it in
you
all
got
kind of different ways.
originals that fit into a market that people want to hear. You know, you can get there. You can get good with a cover band starting off and whatever, but the originals,
It's-
if you're going to take it to the next level, obviously you have to have originals,
Right.
and they have to sound like what somebody you know wants to pay to listen to. Basically.
That's right.
So, yeah,
And
and there's all
that's-
forms of that. There's that's a wide spectrum, but still people miss. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
And now with the internet, man, everybody's doing it.
So
but
there's
if anybody wants to reach out to me, if they think they're worthy, you know what I mean. I've got a couple of key pieces, I would say now, but I'm open. So if you're in this area, in Stark County or close area, don't contact me. Don't be like the guys trying out for those reality TV shows that come in there and sing like, you know.
Right, and that's what we're
Crap.
trying to avoid. I told him with what we were talking about doing with the whole karaoke thing with prizes and stuff from people that are supporting the show.
Oh, I thought you might
We want to
Yeah, just
avoid
get out
that
there.
because that's already been done.
Yeah. I mean, Gas Band is kick butt. They got original stuff.
Right.
And
I'd almost like to be able to do a battle of the bands online
Absolutely.
too. That's something else that
We
But
was
I'm looking for
talking
some
about
young-
doing that rap battle thing too.
and that was the one that we were talking about with Black Rain, right?
Right.
We get a DJ in here and we get a
Jimmy
couple
said he
dudes.
would do that.
Boom.
Would be
And
a
then,
DJ.
right.
aren't you a rapper?
Huh?
Aren't you a rapper?
Not really. I've guest starred in one of Birmingham Jones's songs that's unreleased. If I find a good copy of it, or if I find the originals where I can make another master or another mix down, I might. But other than that, no, I ain't really. I'm not-
Birmingham Jones. He sounds like a country singer.
That's what I said. That's the other one that's up on our thing right now that
Yeah.
you did the music for.
I actually-
I
that's
can't
the
wait
one
to
I-
hear it. Is it good?
Yeah, he's real good.
Sweet. Cool.
He's real colorful in his lyrics. But I got the one song up on our YouTube channel, which is weird. It won't play it, but I did the guitars in that song. It's called "Throw Your Guns Up." But you can find him if you Google Birmingham Jones.
So this guy Tom here, I knew he was the front man of the band, singing and everything, and then Alan gets up from the drum set, and Tom goes back there and plays drums. I'm like, oh wow! And then so I pick up a guitar the other day and start playing, and he comes over and he's playing licks on the guitar. I'm like, wow. So yeah, talented guy, and he's got a podcast. So, and he builds. You guys can't see all the equipment out here, all the
lighting and all
the
that.
lighting and light shows and
Well,
fog
you can if you
machines.
see the show, and then we do these too.
There's a whole lot behind the scenes taking place.
Now,
to make
I
this
heard a
stuff happen.
rumor. I heard a rumor that you are somehow have some connection to get some Transylvania zombie killing bullets.
Yeah, I might. We was talking about that, and I might just have a connection.
Now listen, people I mentioned Witchy Ways down there, Minerva, and you've got a friend with a store that's got that kind of stuff.
Dolores, the mighty oracle at
If
Planet
it's true,
Art.
if he can actually import these things, these Transylvania, zombie killers or
Zombie
whatever.
bullets.
Yeah, that would be badass.
Oh, we should.
That-
Speaking of badass,
But that
there's
coin,
also the
guys, that I
alien
just
plugs.
showed you, I forged out of a whole. Well, not only that one, but a bunch more out of a coffee can of keys. Wait a minute, what I missed?
The alien plugs that you make.
Oh, those. Yeah, I got some. Yeah, these little alien things. When you pour them, they look like
Yeah.
look like bio plugs. They do. Look like you're gonna have a good time tonight with you and a little bit of that grease, that little jelly we was talking about earlier on the thing. The thing.
It's funny because everybody says that as soon as they see him. But he does some cool work, man.
Yeah,
The
man,
coins are really cool. And
I got to get some more molds. And then I just realized today, Dave Sutton, he's got a friend with a 3D printer. So that means that I can get some gas molds and some chicken coop or media farm molds and start making some shit like that with our logos. Once we come up with something.
So you've been around for a minute, and we love it when people name drop. So like, who's like some of the personalities you've met that like really blew you away, where you felt starstruck, even if it was just
I've
for
never
a minute?
felt starstruck.
You never like,
Not in my life. Ever.
never ever.
Never.
There wasn't anybody that you met that you was on your list of people to meet that when you got to
You know
them, you were
what?
like,
Everybody's
wow.
a person. They all end up in the same place. So no, I've never been starstruck from
Never.
anybody. No, it's just never been the thing for me.
I haven't got that yet either. I'm wondering who it would be.
I
you
was
know?
never like starstruck, but when I tell you, when I was standing right next to Jimmy Page, it was
Dude,
pretty
right.
freaking amazing,
Right.
dude.
That's one of those moments.
I wasn't like starstruck, like but I
Right,
was just
right.
like, wow, dude, like this is Jimmy Page.
Well, that's
dude.
a little bit different.
Like,
yeah.
wow, man.
Right.
Like I was kind of like tripped out. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
damn, dude. Like I'm the dude putting his amp on and off stage, and I got to hold the guitar.
Right.
The famous Sunburst
That's awesome.
Gibson. I held it in my
That
hand.
is so cool, dude.
That is cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love the video of you too, where you sneak on stage
Uh-huh.
in that little spot.
I'll tell you what, you guys, you know who Artemis Pyle is.
Yep,
He was a drummer with Skynyrd. We had a fun time. I hung out with him at a music festival. A guy does a thing down in North Carolina, Gary Maverick Band, and so it rained out, and we ended up hanging out in a tack house, and he jammed, and hell, he played a box. I'm not kidding. The guy
That's
played
cool.
a box and killed it, and but we hung out in my van, and he was a cool guy to be around. Actually, I wouldn't say I was starstruck, but just some of the conversations we had, and him being connected with Craig and everything, that really hit
Right.
home with me. And Craig in himself is. I've been around him so long now and heard so many stories, but then there's still so much more that I don't know. And
Right.
he'll always bust something out that I never expected.
Right.
Really? What's that say? Raleigh? Really big? Really bigs? Yo. I'm blind,
Oh,
man. If I
really
said-
bigs. I know.
Okay.
Billy Riggs. Whoops. Wait, did I say that right? I said it backwards. That's really bigs. Yo.
Yo.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
man. It's hard for me to read from way back.
Yeah.
Sup, yo?
He's a master mechanic. If I was building a race team, he'd be my crew chief.
Nice.
Yeah, which I'd like to get back into, actually. Lately, I've been riding the Harley a lot. I'm going to take it out to Quaker City with probably my buddy Brandon. He just got a BMW that's pretty fast, so we're going to run out at Quaker City at the Test and Tune. I love racing. Racing is in my blood now. I know
That's what
why,
I'm
but-
starting to gather in this conversation. I was going to ask you. So you're an excitable guy,
So
man.
that song, or go ahead.
Were you going to get into racing?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you seem really passionate about it, man.
Yeah, I love racing and
The Gas song, Need for Speed, is your song.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that song. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more Gas Band. Actually, so that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Practice.
Actually, that's right. We got to rip this set down.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna video some of that, and then I'll make some little teasers for your fans out there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man, because this is really starting to come together now.
Z's done a couple of them for us.
Yeah. Well, she does a great job.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
But you know what's cool is now you got two or three even perspectives on putting them out there.
Right.
So everybody's got their own styles. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it me or did that music just get louder?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but it sounds really cool, man. You know what I mean?
I swear I didn't touch nothing. It's
I hope
behind me.
it comes out on the playback.
Now they
Should.
kind of got the monster truck rally thing going. Sunday.
Sunday.
There's
Be
nothing
there.
Sunday. There's nothing this Sunday.
See the rocket launching man-eating truck.
Yeah, we do have something this
Well,
Sunday.
yeah, we do. You
We're
do.
going to be working through some bugs.
Right. Figuring some stuff out.
We'll be putting that raid out, that Terminex. There's a shout out.
Man, they sound good.
You guys keep giving shout outs for free, man.
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
It's all right.
Guilty as
We're going to
charged.
start charging you guys one of these names with shout outs and stuff.
Shout out to the mighty
Shout
Oracle.
outs. Shout out
Shout
to
out
Planet
Dolores
Art.
and Planet Art.
Shout out to the Sparta Lounge on 12th Street. And
I love the
Gattuso's
Sparta.
music.
So I ran into a cat many years back that he had the pizza shop that's across from there. He had it back
Castos.
when he had it, I think it was called something different. The guy's name's Sig Sabo, and I think it was Sig's Pizza or something like that back then. But yeah, we were talking about the parade route. He was right on that too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that whole area right there, that used to have a bakery right there. Is that still there too?
Well, I don't think it is. I think it's like an ethnic food store now.
I got you. And then Taggart's around the corner.
Yeah.
Tigers is
Yeah.
going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still getting it.
That's right up by Dolores at Planet Art.
Actually, Amber, the girl in Virginia, was up, and we were riding on the Harley and stopped at Taggart's and got some old-fashioned
That's
style
awesome.
ice cream
You can
there.
see Planet Art's sign from right there in front of that place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matter
Yeah.
of fact, I think D got food from there today whenever I stopped in and saw it.
I can't wait to get to the Sparta and eat. You know, I like their
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna-
peppers.
Oh, and here we
And
go.
the
That's a nice
calamari.
lead-in. Good job. We're talking
Yeah.
about doing that first eating out show there with
Oh my
Tom
gosh.
and Ed, because we love to eat out.
We love to eat out.
No,
Delicious,
intended.
juicy
we have that in common.
meat.
Steak and chops and whatever, man, because Sparta's got a lot of meat, right? You got we went in there the other night and you got that kebab. That looked really good,
Bad
man.
boy
love
was
the
delicious,
kebab,
son.
It did. It looked really good.
I don't know if they still do, but it seemed like they do. But most places they'll chop strip steak up into kebabs. They use their fillet tails at the
Oh, man.
Sparta.
And man, them Sparta fries with the bomb with that tzatziki
them are
sauce,
good.
dude.
For sure.
I tell you what, me and Z had that there. What the hell was that? Cheesecake.
Oh, yeah, that
baklava cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, was that banging, huh?
Yeah, that was really good when we went in there the other night, man. I definitely want to go back.
So yeah, we're gonna go in there here real soon. We're gonna be starting this eating show.
Hey, Nick.
Hey Nick, they're gonna come in and do damage down there at the Sparta. These guys, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I sat in there with Jimmy and Nick, just us, after hours.
It's
before.
fun times there
Yeah.
after hours.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun, man.
Jimmy's a cool dude.
Very cool,
I've
dude.
crawled out of that place, man, when I lived next door, boy. Whew, I'm glad I didn't have to drive. Well, that's why I got crawling out of there, because I knew I didn't have to drive.
Oh, my God. You told me some crazy stories.
One armed and shit, dragging myself across. Oh, all the rest of my limbs dragging across the road and shit. I was done.
Yeah.
You'd be tore up. And then Nicky lived upstairs at the time, so he didn't have to go nowhere. So we'd sit in there for hours after they closed, just doing the thing.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Watching TV probably is all you
Yeah.
guys are doing, right?
The games, man. They would be betting on them games. Him and Jimmy.
Yeah.
I love the music tonight.
I know.
It's cool when a drummer comes in, you know.
For sure. He's got his maiden shirt on.
Dan Prim.
Can't see that on camera, but guy just walked
There's a
by.
guitar player that was up there with them guys. Hold Your Fire in
Hold
that
Your
night.
Truth.
The other guitar player for the other bands and Cowboys from Hell.
Back there jamming.
Wow. It's funny because Tom took his whammy bar from him.
Oh yeah, normally he's
So,
always doing the whammy, but
Can't
that
do all
Gretsch
that
doesn't
tonight.
have
I
one.
don't have a whammy bar.
Oh, wow.
So he restrained him tonight.
You know
He's
what
been
I-
doing
He can
that
do
to
this,
him.
though.
But you know what
Yeah,
though?
right.
Next week I think I'm gonna bring that BC Rich in, that bad boy.
The one that he's in love with.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
what, is it a
Yeah.
Warlock, like that style?
Yeah, but it's a special one, and it's technically a customer's guitar, but
We'll have to see
we're
what can be done.
gonna try to sell this thing. It's
What's it look like?
Yeah, talk to the customer,
Oh
man.
I don't know if
How much is
It's
it?
badass.
It's what is that thing? I want to
affordable.
say, yeah,
It's affordable.
right there around $1,000, I think. Might be even less because I think they dropped it down because it was just over. It might even be right in the 800 range. I forget, man. I'd have to look. It's been sitting there for a while, but it's got the Fishman pickups in it, and it's got like this badass paint job, and it's like a special model.
And you got the one that's shaped like a gun.
I don't even know. Yeah, but he ain't selling that. That one's. He had.
Are
that
you allowed
one-
to say that?
He had that one
I don't
special
know.
built.
I hope so.
He's not supposed
Shit,
to.
that's right. I didn't
said
think about
bang,
that.
bang.
Can you say that
The
word?
toothpaste is out. You can't put it back.
I know, right? I effed up. Eddie, you're the one that did it.
What?
You had to say that word.
Yeah. No, well, yeah.
They're
Well,
gonna.
it is what it
This
is.
was a good show.
33.
Let me see. I think we had
33,
it
that's
featured.
right. Lucky number 33.
Well,
in
let me
my
tell you about
shows.
Find it
33.
if I can find it. I
I'll
think
tell you a
it's
cool
featured.
thing that happened about a Corvette after he shows us the guitar.
No, go ahead, because it's.
So I'm up in.
well, it's not that one, but that one's another one we got up there.
That don't
You
help
can
me.
probably see it in the background, actually. I thought.
So
Dave,
I was up in.
There's that Gretsch.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys can go to the Gattuso's Facebook page. Check. We got featured guitar every week. Scroll down. That's what I'm trying to go down and see. I know that.
That was like the Brian
there it
Seltzer
is.
special. Oh, that's badass.
That's sweet.
Just tell him that Otto will buy it, then he can come home and play it.
I mean, I can get you set up.
I like that upright bass you guys got there too. I'm gonna get on that thing.
So, all right, I'm up in Michigan, and WRIF
Show you
radio.
guys real quick.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
back
yeah,
to the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that is a sweet axe right there.
I've seen those before with that. It's got like the inlay all the way around the outside and stuff. That's cool.
Yep. It's
I
pretty
actually
badass.
had that on a list of ones that I wanted to buy at one time. I need to buy, but all right. So I'm up in Detroit. I was doing some buying. I was a buyer. I bought like 40, 50 cars at a time, and WRF Radio had this competition where they were giving away 101 keys. That was their radio station 101, and 3 of the keys would start a Corvette, brand new Corvette. So one day, you know, I was traveling a lot, so I was always calling and trying to win keys. So the one day they played, you know, they'd make a revving noise.
233.
Yeah, they'd make a revving
Ant
noise,
Farm.
and like a Corvette, brum, brum, you know.
Right.
And then they'd do a song, and then after the song they'd be like, "Hey, congratulations to Art Miller for winning a key," you know. So
Right.
one day it's after the song, and they had a guest in the
If you
studio.
can come down and your key matches, you have won.
Yeah, so.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? They didn't announce a winner. So I call and it's ringing, and they answer and it's me, you know. And I'm like, so I win a key. So I'm like, that's cool, you know. So they say, show
Otto,
up.
come on down
Otto,
and get your key
Yeah.
at WWCND.
Sunday.
Yeah. So they said, show up
Nick.
at Champion
These guys think they're
Chevrolet.
DJ. Almost made him
You're killing me over here.
milk in his nose.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they say show up at
Shit.
Champion Chevrolet in Brighton, Michigan, and such a day, you know. So I head up there, and I got there early. I was way early because I wasn't sure how far it was or what we'd run into, and I don't like to suck. So I got
Right.
there, and they had a box of keys, and this guy comes out, and there was a few of us by now, and he goes, "Here's the 3 winning sets of keys," you know, and he throws it in the box, and I specifically hear one hit like the middle back of the box and drop, and I go, "Oh, that's where I'm reaching," you know. So we stand in line, and we go up and we reach in, and at the time I told you guys I listened to AC/DC, you know,
Right.
and Skynyrd, and I was really into the song that Whole Lot of Rosie. I was into the lead, you know, that Angus plays on the long version, and it's on the radio, and I'm jamming, you know, and I reach to the back of the box and I pull it out, and it's my football number. I go, "I won." I just said it. I blurted it out, and Craig will tell you stories about that. You know, when it happens, I call it the tingle.
Right.
When I get the tingle,
Yeah.
it's never been
I
wrong
feel
ever
you.
in my
I know
in my
exactly
life.
what you're talking about.
And so I'm like, I won, and so we had to get in line according to our number. My number was 33. So
wow, 3033.
yeah. So we're standing
that's
in line, and it's an overcast day. It's an overcast day and kind of chilly and windy. And I said to Sherry, I said, "Hey, why don't you go to the car and get my sunglasses?" She's like, "For what?" I said, "Because when I win, I want to act cool and pull out my sunglasses."
Yep.
And these people in line are like, "Man, shut the heck up," you know what I mean?
Right,
And
shut the F
up.
and
See
and
that,
I go,
Mrs.
"Let me
Babinsky?
see your
See
key."
that?
And he goes, "What for?" I said, "Let me see your key." And he holds up his key, and I look at it and both sides. I said, "That's what I thought." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Look at my key." And you could see the key had been in an ignition. I was just grinning ear to ear.
Oh, man.
So we get up to me. You know, this is live on the radio, by the way. So they're doing
Right.
a broadcast podcast back in the day. You know,
Right.
and so every so many songs they let some
Yeah.
people go up. You know,
Say some crap.
so you're supposed to go to the white one, the red one, and the black one. So the people before me, they would come up and they'd try the white one. They try, you know, and so I don't even know why. You know, I'm impulsive
You're like,
sometimes.
the black one's mine.
I did. I just knew it was mine. I skipped the first two and I went right to the black one, and I put the key in and it fired up, and I flipped off the guys that were giving me crap in line, and I
Nice,
pulled my
nice.
sunglasses out and put them on and then flipped them off. And,
Nice.
And then I tried to do a burnout. I'm like, I'm a gearhead, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so everyone's going, do a burnout, do a burnout. So I fired up, you know, and I'm trying to do a burnout, and the like security's going, no. Yeah. So then, so the show goes on, and they get the rest of the winners, and afterwards they wanted to take pictures, which, you know, I just realized too, my father's sponsor was Miller, and that was actually who sponsored that Corvette was Miller. So, so
Nice.
the afterwards the sponsors want you to put. Oh yeah, also I forgot to tell you, the black Corvette had like. I think it was $3,000 or $4,000 in the center console too. It was like a
nice.
bonus, so I got
nice,
bonus
man.
cash. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Damn, he got dancer money.
So the photographers come and the sponsors are there, and they give us these Miller High Life shirts to put on, and you know, my hair was longer and it was windy, and I had on a hat, and I take my hat off, and I just put this
33.
Yeah,
That's what I said earlier,
I just
3033.
Yeah.
flexed up. Wow.
so I just I put
333.
I go to put
When
the
he
shirt
was
on.
saying that, too. That's
Yeah,
Universe.
I saw it.
what, go ahead.
All right, so
Stop it.
So I go to put this shirt on that they give me, right? I take my hat off, and the wind's blowing, and I got the shirt partway on, and the guy takes the picture.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, I like, just take another picture, you know? You can't take this picture. So that's the picture they roll with. So I'm like, oh, great, you know, and this is going to end up somewhere, right?
Like Superman, like
Yeah,
some flying
no.
squirrel and shit. with
No,
your-
let me tell you what it looked like. So later on in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they had a WRIF display in there, right? And they got the the pictures in there. And so my buddies tell me, hey, we're up here, we see your Corvette picture, you know, you win the Corvette. And I'm like, oh yeah, and they go, yeah, you look like Corky the retard.
Oh,
man.
That's what they said. They said the people were going, oh, look at the little retarded boy, I want a Corvette. My arm's like this, I'm making a face, you know, whatever. My hair is blown over or whatever. So I didn't get to see the picture because at the time there wasn't like capabilities where people were taking cell phone stuff.
I like the Rock Hall. I've been up there a couple times now, and it's always a
I've
good
been
time.
there, but I haven't been in there. Craig can get us in for free. We're going to have him take us up there. Speaking of which, you know, I was thinking about that. What we ought to do is I don't know where yet, but we should set up like a big show that we could do live and then have all of our podcasts and his podcast like this big shindig.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We need to think about that and
And I
work
wanna
that
get
out in our heads.
Ricky Schoenberg on. I want to get him, you know, I think we could do what we said on the screen maybe with him, so it's
Yeah, I don't
all
know. We'll have
at
to-
the same time.
If not
Live.
even on a screen, we could do the thing like they do,
Right. We need to figure
like
that
Craig
out.
does with the, I don't, what's that, a Zoom call or whatever, how
Yeah.
that works.
Ricky, shout out. Got to get him on here. That guy knows some shit.
Yeah, I've heard
He
him.
can talk shit about shit. Let me
And
tell
about
you,
Craig.
Eddie, I know some stuff.
And the other stars.
You guys talk a lot of shit about nothing.
Hey,
Get
Nick,
me
listen
on
to him over
there.
here.
I'll tell you what's up.
Nick, I thought it was Ricky over here for a minute. Huh?
Hey, why am I talking to myself?
He knows where my money is. I'm going to shut up.
Well, we're definitely coming down to the end. We're pushing the 3-hour limit now, so
that is
you're
crazy.
you're
we're
our
not
age.
really. We're only 2.5, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're 50s you now, and we're in that 50s era now. And if you could go back, you know, and talk to like 21-year-old you or headstrong you, whenever you went headstrong and thought you knew all your shit about
I would
shit,
say,
what would you tell
actually,
yourself?
I would, depending on how far. Uh-oh, I lost sound there. There we go. So I was counter of society for a long time. Like when back in grade school, a teacher brought in a dentist. You know what I mean? And I had just been to the dentist the first time, and they scraped my teeth and with a metal rod, right, and to get all the tartar and shit off. And so the dentist is in there, and he's telling us to use a soft bristle brush, right? And I'm like, bullshit. Like,
Right.
You just wanted me to use a soft bristle brush so you can go in there and pull my tartar off. That's what I'm thinking as a kid. So I voiced my opinion. I'm like, I don't believe this. You know what I mean?
Diagram of a scam.
Right. So I get put out in the hall. And so this happened throughout a lot of my young life. And if I could, as far young back as I could go, I'd say you're right. What you're saying, but I was not, you know, when you're a kid, you're not
Right.
that confident. But there was a lot of stuff that was
You're
BS.
a nonconformist,
Yeah.
Otto.
Yeah, so
Right.
like the stuff they teach you in school, I'm not high on the education system. I'm still the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. It's some Christopher
Right,
Columbus's
right.
boats. You know, a lot of the stuff, a dangling participle, a hanging chad. You know, I've never needed it in my life, let alone trigonometry or anything like that. So I would say forget what they teach you in school and learn how to make money, learn how to self-sustain, learn a trade. You know, which
I've been hearing that a lot
I
lately.
did actually. I did do that stuff, but leave in it. You know, don't listen to the doubters. You were right. Whatever you had in your heart, you know, like whatever I had in my heart at that age, it was right. But there's so many doubters around you that tell you otherwise. And there's a system in place that wants you to go to
fail.
school, to go to college, then to go get a job, and then But
And be in debt.
yeah, it's just I never wanted to be a part of that system. So I could have done it faster if older me now was back there saying, hey, you're right, everything you're thinking is right, but cut out the riffraff, you know what I mean, and just
Right.
put your eye on the prize and learn how to have your money make money for you, so yeah. Is that too much? But
That's a great answer, dude.
Yeah,
It
so-
is. That's a great answer.
Hey, Nick, we never talked about Bigfoot, huh? What you guys doing over here, man? You never talked about
that's
that
right.
truck.
The Bigfoot truck, right? We can talk about Bigfoot, the truck.
Yeah.
We got Otto, Motev.
I live in Minerva, so do you guys know the Minerva Monster? Have you
Well,
ever
yeah, my Larry's son did he
my
did
God,
the
This has
soundtrack
gotta
for
be a
the
record for me.
documentary
Oh,
that they did.
okay.
That started the Monster Days out there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Which-
cool.
And then I wanted to say thanks for Meyer Guy, Zachary Van Ness, Wheelchair Chuck, Winslow, Miss Mills, Gary Wigington, and Black Rain, and Really Biggs for hanging out in the chat before we go out. I just wanted to tell you guys all thanks for being there. Everybody else in the Ant Farm, thanks. Before we go, and my last question is, would you kill baby Hitler?
Would I kill baby Hitler? No.
Knowing what you know, what he's gonna do.
I'm not a killer like that, so that's issue number one. So I couldn't just do that. And two, I don't know that it's my place to shape history. I'm not saying what he did
Good
was
answer.
good, but I don't put that on me. So no, I don't think I would.
But no, my real question is, that one's a one I toss in every now and again. But the real question is, if you could eat dinner with anybody at any time period of anywhere that's already passed away, who would it be?
It would be my dad when he was Johnny Showboat in 1975.
Johnny Showboat in
Yeah.
75.
He picked dad, not mom.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's who I would pick. That's what everybody picks is their mom.
Yeah.
Well, I would pick my dad.
Mom's
so.
a popular one.
Not
yeah.
everybody, but yeah, a lot of people pick mom.
Yeah.
Some people say Jesus, but I exclude Jesus because I always say you're going to meet Jesus regardless.
Yeah.
So my pick was Cleopatra.
Mine's a revolving door, man. You know, I can't decide.
What was the good one last? Somebody had one. What did Brandon say? His was a good one too.
I can't remember.
I can't either.
My
It's
short-term
too many
memory's
of them, man.
destroyed from hanging out with
Yeah.
you.
Hey man, you've been smoking that shit.
You know what? Craig talks about somebody wanted him to go to Vegas, and he's like, "Why would I go to Vegas? I've been to Vegas." He's like, "I rolled craps with Ronnie Van Zant."
There
like,
you go.
what? You know what?
Right.
Does what? I'm gonna top that? I mean,
Right.
I've seen Vegas, and I've done it with the best.
Shit,
so.
he's been all around the world, bro.
Hunter
Yeah.
S. Thompson.
He's been there. If anybody's been there and done that, it's Craig.
Hunter S.
Believe
Thompson.
that.
I think Hunter S. Thompson's who I'd do.
See, Craig has built people's careers too. People,
Oh, I know.
That doesn't
This
get
guy
put out
right
there.
here, right? Didn't you study under him for many years?
Well, I mean, I didn't study under him. I just worked with him and learned every place there is to know in every venue where to get high at without getting caught and without being seen on a camera.
Partying with the Stones.
If you
I
want to
think,
call that
Partying.
studying under Craig, well then why? Yes, I studied a lot under Craig. No, me and Craig worked a lot, man. I stayed up at his house and all kinds of shit, man. We was doing it, man.
I love his yard.
People,
every
you
time I
know,
go out and piss, there's deer looking at
I'll
me.
tell you right now, you know, Craig
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Craig knows how to work the system, but you know, and avoid work a lot. You know, he's an older dude. Even when we was working with me, he was still, you know, sort of an older guy. You know what I mean? So, but when it was time to get down, Craig would outwork most of them kids there. I promise you.
Oh, I believe that.
What's that? Oh, I was like, what's that noise?
Yeah, he's. We're about to start playing pickleball.
My sound changed in my earphones.
Same.
It's
Tinny.
yes.
Well,
something's
that
going
hi
on.
hat. He might have changed that drum.
Us. No, us.
What's called again?
I sound hollow in my
I
headset.
don't know.
Oh well. You sound hollow anyhow.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I
all that
am.
bad
I'm
for you.
feeling
Eddie,
hollow
I was
right
I was
now.
surprised to find that she didn't have an extensive background in like radio and that kind of
Bullshit.
stuff. So. No,
Like
for
a-
real. No, you're a natural at it. I've been around.
take
It's like
Thank
he's
you.
hollow. He's like a jack-o'-lantern. We put a
Been
candle
around.
in him and shit and light him up.
Feel-
That's that inner light he's always talking about. That fucking
That's about
candle
all I
we
got
got
left
in
is my
the
inner light.
Sorry, Mrs. Badinsky.
I'm just gonna throw
You know
this
what?
in there
That's
for the
only
animals.
3 the
I miss
whole
my
show,
fella.
bro.
Mom.
That's damn good.
3 times.
And so that's 5 total because he did one and he did. That's great.
I stopped myself though right at the end.
Yeah, but your
That
intentions
doesn't
was
count.
bad. You wanted to say it,
I
so
did say it.
he did pay it forward though.
Sorry, Mom.
Our little change thing here is going to Humble Creatures, man. It's about halfway full. I looked at it today. I tipped it up sideways.
What's humble? I don't know what humble.
Creatures is a veterinarian clinic up on Cleveland Avenue, across the street from like where what is that? Oh, Chipotle is almost right across the street from there, and they do fantastic
Like 30th
work on your.
Street. like up that block, like
Yes.
Yeah, right around the corner. Yep.
Right
Okay.
across from the new Marks
Yep.
by the McDonald's.
And they hooked
Shout
me
out
up
to everybody.
when I was
like
down.
Big Macs.
My dog was having a bunch of seizures and stuff, and they pretty much couldn't do nothing with her at this point. She was already pretty much gone, and they helped me out with it, and they basically said donate whatever you can afford. So it was a good deal. They did me right. So we're gonna build this box up to maximum capacity and then donate it off to them. It's like I said, it's about halfway there. Halfway there and change. It's got like $20 in there, and then this here 6 I'm gonna drop in there when we get done. From old Mike Gately, he finally paid. There's a couple other you guys. Don't think I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna say who you are, but you know I know who you are.
Hey, Nick.
And I'm coming for you. I'm gonna send out them boys, Nick. They're gonna come for you. They're coming for you.
Don't
Where's
steal
that
from
at?
charity.
It's over there. It's not real.
I want to thank our guest, Automotive.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing all the things that you've done for this place already.
Yeah,
and
right.
what you've done for the gas band, what you're going to do for this place, and what you're going to do for the gas band and everybody else that's in our circle.
There's a lot of moving
Shit's
parts.
about to happen,
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
A
You
lot of
guys
moving
stay tuned.
parts coming
I love it
together.
here, man. You guys are doing a
All
great
right, man.
job.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Appreciate.
do some cool stuff in the future
Awesome.
for sure.
For sure.
So I think before I just cut the stream,
Well, we're not going to do a live Sunday show, so there's no
yeah,
Sunday
there's no
show. We can let
Sunday
everybody
right now
know.
because I got to do some bugs on that. But I said I would just say bye everybody and all that and cut it. But before I cut it, I think I'm just gonna take our mics off the hot and let you guys listen to these guys for a minute, and then I'll
There's
cut
no
it.
way we could get that other camera
Well,
on
I
so
don't
they
know
could
if
see
I don't think that'll reach, and it's a different plug. But I'll try if I
I'll
can
tell
get
you
this
what, I'll
other
take
camera
some,
back here.
I'll take some footage.
I'll
with
get this
my,
back here, but
We can go live
just
on
hang
Facebook.
out for a few minutes. I'm not going to cut the stream for a few minutes. I'm going to let these guys jam because it's the first time Al's got to jam with anybody. Thanks for hanging out. Outhouse
All right,
Podcast
Outhouse.
down at the Media Farm.
You guys
Thanks,
roll.
Otto, for hanging out.
Motive.
See you on the next
wanna
one.
thank
Next
the
Wednesday,
Stone
guys.
Roadie.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stone Roadie, Greg Reed.
Yeah.
You the man. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I forgot to wish you one, but I know it was like, what, 10 days ago?
Alright, fine. It was alright.
Undiscovered gold right here, right in the fall.